All right, we are back in the birthplace of the promotion, Price, Utah. Blake O'Rulian alongside the number 3 heavyweight in the entire state of Utah, Eric Iman. And we also got Jason Laporte, as always. And, guys, we have an incredible card here tonight. Jason, I think the big one that are filling these seats here tonight, Andrew Mickelson, Chris Chu for the amateur middleweight title.
That's going to be a banger. These guys fought again in the amateur ranks for their first fight. It was a great fight. Obviously, Mickelson got the victory. Chris Chu was calling for this fight. Literally minutes after Andrew Mickelson won that belt, he was calling for this fight and wanted it. I'm really excited for this one.
Eric, your thoughts on this matchup that I think everyone is just really looking forward to?
You know, if he was chasing the fight right after, he saw something or knew something, he might have thought he had an upper hand. You know, you got to love a fighter's fighter. He's not going to back down. He wants to take the challenge, and he wants that belt. And you know, the hungry guy gets fed. So.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this main event. Marco Sanchez facing off against Freddie Sandoval, a fascinating main event matchup. Jason, Marco Sanchez back after 14 months away, but Freddie Sandoval, he averages win times in 63 seconds. He's a pretty unbelievable talent himself.
Yeah, this is going to be a great fight. Marco Sanchez is one of those guys that he has every tool in his arsenal. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He coaches boxing. He's a kickboxer. He has it all. His record doesn't show it, but this is a guy that when he starts to put it together, he could be very deadly, and this is a great matchup for him tonight in the main event.
Eric, how dangerous is it? There is that big height advantage. Marco Sanchez 6'2", as for Freddie Sandoval 5'8", but he is a firecracker in there.
Yeah, you know, a shorter guy can have some advantage if he can get past the wrist of the taller guy. Once he's past the wrist of the taller guy, he's on the inside, and that's going to be his range, right? The question's going to be, can the taller fighter grab him, maybe tie clinch, and use some knees in that exchange? But, you know, it can be anybody's game. It can be anybody's game. You look at Tyson. He got on the inside. He got past guys' wrists. He knocked people out.
The entire main card is absolutely stacked here tonight, but I think one of the big things that we haven't talked a whole lot about, because it happened just 24 hours ago, Nakaya August with a brand new opponent in Lacey Vasquez. Vasquez was on the card, then she was off the card. Now she is back on the card on just 1 day's notice. Makes weight. An unbelievable thing that happened yesterday. Jason, your thoughts on it?
I think it's amazing that she's stepping up and taking the fight on short notice. It's obviously great for Nakaya. I call her Kiwi because that's what we call her at the gym. It's great for Kiwi to be able to fight in front of her hometown fans. Super exciting fight. This place is probably going to erupt when she walks out.
Eric, what's your thoughts on that? Just making weight on literally, she found out, 10 minutes to pack a bag, drove to Price, made weight.
You know, I said it before. You have a fighter's fighter. You have somebody that wants that fight, that has the dog in them. You can never count somebody with that much heart out, especially if you've got to cut 10 pounds in 12 hours. You know, I think the most I cut was 18 pounds in 7 days, and it's a miserable experience. But, you know, the size of the dog in the fight makes all the difference.
2 kickboxing matches on this fight card. We've got the first 2 that are going to be kickboxing matches. Following that, we've got an MMA match. All 6 making that walk are going to be making their debut. Then we're going to take a little break. Then we're headed to the main card. I'm going to open it up to the entire card. Jason, number 1 person or fighter or fight you're looking forward to?
Brendan Myers, Tony Garcia rematch. We called it right after that fight. It ended with an inadvertent knee. I know both of those guys didn't want to see that fight end in that way, and I think you and I called it. We wanted to see the rematch, and we're going to see it right tonight.
Eric, your thoughts?
I was able to talk to Tony a little bit while he was in the cage, just kind of familiarizing himself. Very confident young man, fast. He looks really fast. His take on the fight was that he was winning the fight and maybe his opponent was trying to get out of the fight off of the DQ with the knee. But Jason's opinion is he was winning the fight and then Tony was winning the second round, right?
I thought Brendan won the first round pretty convincingly, and then the second round I thought Tony was winning pretty convincingly. You know, it sucks the way it ended, but we're going to run it back tonight and we'll see who the winner is.
You know, and they happen. I mean, when I was fighting Cortez, as a matter of fact, he'd try to get time off of a low blow that I know didn't happen. You're welcome.
What a night we have ahead of us here. The main card is going to be starting in in about an hour or so. But before that, we've got Greg Allen out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as Aiden Marin coming in from Salt Lake City, making the walk first. Jackson Hopes is going to get his prime for it right now.
Is that good?
Check 1, 2. First, for those of you tuning into the pay-per-view, and for those of you in attendance here at Carlin County Event Center here in Price, Utah, welcome to the Fierce Fighting Championship Challenger Series. Tonight's event is sanctioned by the Pete Suazo Utah Athletic Commission, with Executive Director Scott Bowler in attendance. Dr. Cabot Murdoch is also cage-side this evening, along with timekeeper Covey King. The judges for the evening are Dan First, Richard Montanez, and Stephen Verriger. And the referees in charge when the fights begin will be Dave Selyestead and Tyler Tomlinson. Just a couple quick things. The drink tickets that are on your tables, they are for soft drinks only. Those are not for alcoholic beverages. Soft drinks only. Be sure to go over there to Hunter. Hunter, wave your hands. There's Hunter over there. Go say hi to Hunter over at the check, check. Go say hi to Hunter booth. And when you go there, the proceeds for anything that you purchase over there, hats, your hoodies, whatever you guys purchase, will go to the Be Fierce, Be Kind organization. Fierce fans, we're moments away from our first fight of the evening. At this time, though, we don't have a flag here, but we will stand and rise and honor the country with the singing of our national anthem. We don't have any regular... Wow, we might not have a microphone that works either. We don't have our regular singers here, but I will sing it and hopefully it will work. Hold on. Check one. Check one. Good. All right. What's up, Price, Utah? How we doing? Here we go. This going. So we won't sing the national right now. One, we don't have a flag. Two, it's going to be awkward if the mic keeps kicking in and out. So what we'll do is we will just get this thing started. We are now ready for what you guys all came here to see. We have 16 martial artists, 8 including one title fight for one fighting championship. Wow. All these fighters are prepared to go to war. So first fans, put your hands together and make some noise! All right. The evening is sponsored by Limitless Inc. They are a locally owned and operated professional tattoo and art studio located in Price, Utah. They are proud to announce their involvement with the first annual Eastern Utah Expo on August 25th through the 27th right here at Carbon County Event Center. Visit EasternUtahExpo.com to check out the event, and for custom designs in a professional atmosphere, check out Limitless Inc. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the very first two fighters to the cage.
What's our first one? There's Mr. Hardman right there.
Mr. Hardman.
Kid's a stud.
He is a stud. He's
Hell of a nice
little
guy, too. It's
All right, Jason, I think I'm getting a little deja vu from Idaho right now.
I was just getting ready to say, I was telling Eric about it. Our first 2 fights, we had the same thing happen. I think we went through the whole intro songs before the guys even walked out of the back. It looks like we got the fighter about ready to make the walk.
All right, looks like we got Greg Allen all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico, making his first walk as a kickboxer. Eric, with already 3 MMA fights under his belt, you've got to think he's got a slight edge considering the experience.
Yeah, I would think so. He's been in front of the crowd. He's done this before. He's got some management ability to be able to deal with crowds and things like that. That does make a huge difference. You know, I always worry about fighters that come out shirtless and are you cold? Because if you go in cold, you go out cold.
Couple of fights already under his belt, a 1-2 amateur record, but here is the big difference: big gloves versus little gloves.
Well, little gloves sneak through, big gloves don't. But you can you get hit a lot more with the big gloves. You can't. There's definitely some advantages and disadvantages. You don't have to be as technical defensively with big gloves because you have a shield in front of your face as long as your palms are on your forehead. So, but little gloves, they sneak through in weird angles.
All right, first walk tonight alongside Greg Allen is Aiden Marin, the 20-year-old out of Sierra MMA. Jason, you spent a fair share of time there. What can we expect to see in the kickboxing debut? Looks like he's getting checked up by Joel Haro over there in the back, Jason. But what can you tell us about Aiden?
Yeah, Aiden, he's an awesome kid. I know he's in there. He's training. He's got Joe Hauer in his corner. He's going to be prepared. He's going to be focused. I expect to see clean, crisp, good combinations from him. Don't really know what to expect once he steps inside the cage because he's never been in there. But I do expect him to be technically sound when he steps in there.
So he's got Joel Haro in the corner. He's also got Trey McCoy, who's been a huge help to him, according to Aiden himself. A 2-1 amateur, getting quite the pop out of Sierra MMA. Aiden Marin been training for about 1 year. Very excited to see how this all plays out between the two of them. If we could bring up that tail of the tape, Aiden Marin's 5 years younger than Greg Allen, weighing in yesterday at 179 pounds. Allen weighing in at 180. Both fighters with identical height and both making their kickboxing debuts here tonight at Fierce Challenger Series 6.
For three-minute rounds, and when the will be Dave Sanchez. Introducing out of the blue corner, making his amateur kickboxing debut. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 179 pounds. Fighting out of Sierra MMA, hailing from South Jordan, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Aiden Marin. So he's in the red corner. Goodness. Fighting out of the red corner, making his amateur kickboxing debut. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 180 pounds. Fighting out of Sandoval Fighting Systems, hailing from Albuquerque, New Mexico, representing the 505. Fierce fans, make some noise for Greg Strictly Business Allen.
Greg Allen out of Albuquerque, New Mexico in the blue glove. Sierra MMA's Aiden Marin in the red. This 180-pound kickboxing bout is brought to you by Limitless Inc. Custom artwork, tailor-fit for every client and a part of the first annual Eastern Utah Expo, August 25th to the 27th at the Event Center. Limitless Inc., an official sponsor of Fierce FC. 3 2-minute rounds here for these first two kickboxing matches. Greg Allen connects on the chin early.
He's throwing that overhand over the lead paw. Nice cross there, good sharp cross.
Allen been training for 6 years, both striking and grappling. A UFP grappler champion as well. Dave Sanchez breaking up.
Allen's moving very well. Really polished for 2 fights. He's 2 steps back, a step off. Some of the
Nice one, too.
Marin starting to.
Nice overhand by Marine.
Nice knees by him, too.
Dave Selliestad doing a good job separating the fighters, as this is a kickboxing match. First of 4 assignments for Selliestad here tonight.
I love seeing fierce support some kickboxing. That's where my background is and where I started.
I will be leaning heavily into you throughout this entire first couple of fights, Eric. Marin's starting to get a little bit more comfortable in there from what I'm seeing, Jason.
Yeah, he just ate another overhand. Allen's been connecting with that overhand right a few times now, but Marine using that jab effectively.
You know, Marine's tough, though. He's absorbing the shots. He doesn't look like they're hurting him, but he has caught a few good ones.
Final 10 seconds, round 1 of a possible 3. Again, 2-minute rounds here in these kickboxing bouts.
You know, for your first fight, it's hard to see what your gas tank's going to be like, too, until you're in there.
We're going to get that unofficial scorecard up pretty soon here. Kind of a different beast here, Jason. We're typically used to the MMA fights. Seeing the separation throughout the grappling exchanges and things like that is a little bit odd, but nonetheless, a pretty nice performance so far by Greg Allen.
Great performance. I thought he landed. I mean, listen, I'm not a judge for you guys listening. I'm not a judge at all. I did think he landed the crisper punches in that first round. But Marine had his moments as well. So it's going to be a very tough round to score because Marine ended up coming up and landing some big shots as well. So I'm going to give that slightly to Allen in that first round.
Greg Allen, both of his losses in MMA, he was KO'd in under 2 minutes. Already past that point here in his first kickboxing match. Also the heaviest he has been to make a walk for a fight. 2 fights at 170, 1 fight at 175. He made the weight yesterday at 180 pounds. Might also be that he didn't have to cut as much weight. He feels a little fresher, Eric.
That could be. Also, he might be have a little fuller frame. Sometimes, you know, if your frame's a little bit fuller, your head gets jarred a little less. You got a little more muscle. That's absolutely a factor.
Marin telling me he was 187 by the time he finished dinner last night, weighing in at 179, putting on 8 pounds in a couple of hours. Heavy shot landed by Allen as he starts to get to work.
I think Allen's smelling blood a little early, though.
Marine's coming right back, though.
Not sure what happened there.
It looks like it was a knee. I think he threw a knee. It might have hit him in the face. Marine's taking those punches very well and bouncing right back.
He's walking through them. Allen's footwork looks really good. He's landing good, but Marine's taking the power like it's not a big deal. So.
All right, back to the action we go.
One thing to remember, when you're in the gym, usually you're doing long rounds to try to get ready for these types of things. You got to remember in a 2-minute round, it's got to be fast. You can't stop moving.
Nice head kick by Allen.
Allen connecting cleanly throughout this entire second round.
Good cross.
2 crosses, 3 crosses right in a row from Allen, but Marin taking him well. No, doesn't look like he's dazed at all.
Still looks sharp in his eyes. He's not breathing hard out of his mouth either, meaning his conditioning's holding well.
Sierra MMA conditioning in there by Aaron Marine.
Is that a plug?
That's a little plug. Yeah, it was. I mean, he's right back to his jab.
I like that he's jabbing a little more this round. I think he's going to have to throw more than one shot, though. He's still just doing a 1-2.
Just under a minute to go, round 2.
Marine very technical. Like I mentioned before we walked out, I expected to be him very technical, having Joe Haro in his corner.
Allen's starting to clinch a little bit more. His conditioning might start to be a factor. If that's the case, he might be trying to catch a breather.
You see Marin's is the one doing the stalking now in the second round now.
Well, and Marin's the aggressor, and that looks towards the judges' scorecards. You know, he's trying to take the fight to Allen.
Oh, nice cross.
Marin getting his footing a little bit here, late round 2.
Big overhands by Marine now.
Connecting
back.
I'd like to see Marine throw an uppercut when he's on the inside because Allen's ducking his head. There it is.
Final seconds, round 2, and that will do it. We're going to get that unofficial scorecard up, headed into round number 3. A nice second half for Aiden Marin.
Much improved second half. I felt Allen definitely won the first round. That second round's tough to call. I'd probably edge Marine in that.
We're looking at the body language right now, Eric. What are you seeing on your screen?
Well, a couple of things. Allen's standing up, which usually is a little bit of a show-off thing. Marine sitting down. He looks rested, though. He's not breathing super hard, and he's talking to his corner. His lips aren't blue. They tell you when you're sparring, if the lips are blue, you're exhausted, right? Maybe you should take some time. He looks fairly fresh. I don't have much of an opinion on whether you stand or sit, to be honest with you.
Jason, your unofficial scorecard up right now.
Yeah, I gave Marin that second round. I thought he was a little more aggressive, even though Allen landed some big shots early on, but then Marin turned it right around, and that second half of that second round, I felt Marin with the pressure. He was landing some big shots. Man, this could be 1-1. This could be 2-0. It's a coin flip fight right now.
I see it with you. I think it'd be a 1-1. I think that's definitely a fair assessment. Marin was taking the fight to him in that second round, so we're going to see whose gas holds up and see who gets busier here. I would like to see some more low kicks. I think either fighter really starts connecting with that leg. It's going to make a big difference in this fight, even in this round. Did you see what Marin did there? He checked it the check of Allen, or he checked the kick of Allen on the thigh. That's actually a pretty advanced move for timing.
Allen just landed two more big overhands, but they're not seeming to daze Marin at all.
Watch Allen's back foot. I don't think he's turning his punch over. There's a good head kick. See how Allen's back foot isn't turning when he's not planning? That's why. They look like they're big shots, but he's got to sit on them.
Allen the aggressor, but separated once again. Back to the center of the cage in our final round. 1 minute to go.
This last minute could decide the fight.
Yeah, either way.
I'd like to see Marin get a little bit busier with his hands. He could take this round. There you go.
That would be my one criticism, is just being a little busier. I like the uppercut there, like I talked about on the last round. Good leg kick.
Just as we say that, he's unloaded.
Impressive dexterity from both fighters. Nice knee to the body landed by Marin. A little bit of a late blow there.
Yeah, a little bit late blow on the break.
I like the pressure landed. Now Marin landing the big shots.
More of the same in what we saw in round two. Greg Allen hot early. Aiden Marin starting to put his foot on the gas a little bit more late. Connects on the chin up against the broadcast booth.
What a great, nice big cross by Marin. That was a nice punch. What a fight.
10 seconds.
This is a great fight. What a great fight. Oh, that could have.
All right, we will go to a judge's verdict on this one. Greg Allen, Aiden Marin, pretty close considering.
Very. That would be a hard one to call.
Very curious to see how this plays out, but Aiden Marin looking good in his first kickboxing bout. Greg Allen following suit. We'll have to see. 1 and 2 as an MMA fighter, but the dexterity on his legs was really what impressed me the most out of Greg Allen.
You know, what impressed me the most was the angles he was cutting as he was backing up. He wasn't backing straight up. A lot of amateurs will back straight up. They get caught up against the cage. He was 2 steps back, 1 step to the side. That makes a huge difference on the angles and the punch when you're countering. All
right, Jason's unofficial scorecard up right now. He had Aiden Marin winning rounds 2 and 3. Eric, your thoughts on that?
I think Marin did enough at the end, especially that last minute. He went out like the barn was on fire.
And when you think about it, you've got 3 rounds, 2 minutes, only 6 minutes to really build up your game, your offense. And so I'm very curious to see what the judges have to say. But when you do end the round, the aggressor, oftentimes the judges do consider that.
Still the round. It's possible. In MMA, I tell a lot of my fighters the last 30 seconds, put the guy on his back and seal that round for you. It's very similar in this. You know, start connecting, just keep throwing. Whether you're landing or not, you're busy and you can walk the round away.
All smiles from Trey McCoy, Joel Haro, Aiden Marin out of Sierra MMA. What were you going to say, Eric? I apologize.
No, that was my fault. I keep talking over you, and I apologize.
No, you're great.
I really, I wouldn't be mad if either of these guys win. They did a great job, especially coming in young. Hats off to Marin. First fight, you never know what to expect. but he looked very, very conditioned.
Yeah, I mean,
which is important.
That's one of the big things I was going to ask you is, I mean, you go up against someone who's been training just in totality 5 years longer than you, and you go in there and you give him a great fight. Hats off to Aiden Marine for that.
Yeah, so, I mean, win or lose, I definitely like to see this kid go again, you know.
It looks like Jackson Hoops just about has the verdict for us. We're going to lay out for just a moment, and we're going to toss it over to him. Looks like Dave Sellystead is ready to make it official.
Come on over here, Aiden. I get to interview you now, man. This is pretty awesome, man. How was it, man? You get your first catch. You come in here. Performance. It looks like that first round, he was landing some big shots. Were you phased at any moment?
Not even a bit.
How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. Go another round.
Ready to go another round? So you got one of the best coaches in your corner, Mr. Joe Harrell. You're 1-0 now. What's next for you?
I'm going to keep competing. I love this. Been doing this for just about a year. I'm badass now and badass later.
I love it. Is there anybody you want to give thanks to?
I give thanks to my other coach, Trey, over here. He's a badass. I want to give thanks to my family that's over there for supporting my bad decisions. Thank you, guys. That's about it.
Awesome, man. Wonderful performance. Congratulations once again. Everybody, your winner, Aiden Marine.
From the upper suites to the arena seats, all the way down to cage side, put your hands together and make some noise!
That kid is impressive. This is one of the best cards that we put together to cement their legacy in Utah MMA.
At home with the best in the West, it's Ken Mafaleo! Hailing from Hilo, Hawaii, it's Ricky Mamone!
Well, how does 5 title fights in the Maverick Center sound to you? Fierce Fighting Championship heads back to Salt Lake City August 26th, featuring Jerome Hatch, Mike Jones, Kent Mafaleo, and many more. For tickets, head over to fiercefightingchampionship.com. All right, welcome back in. Aiden Marine getting the win. Now we got Nakaya August facing off against Lacey Vasquez. We just talked about it at the top of the show, Jason, but I mean, this is one that I think a lot of people are really looking forward to, considering how last minute it is. There's no time to game plan for this.
No time at all to game plan for it, but I know Nakaya has been wanting to fight for a long time now. She's getting her opportunity tonight. This is exciting. Like I said earlier, this place is going to erupt when she walks out.
Eric, what's the latest notice fight you have ever heard of?
This one.
Outside of this one, I apologize.
I'm astounded, and maybe I should say I'm impressed, but not surprised that she was able to get it done. And I can't say enough about her.
Lacey Vasquez out of Excite MMA, 1 of 3 to make that walk here tonight.
I had a guy, I think 3 days for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think I am the same. Jason, I think we're the same. A 3-day notice a couple of months ago at a Fear show. But literally from the time she walked, 22 hours following her weigh-in, 2 hours before, it was 24 hours. Just doing the math right now.
It's impressive. That is impressive. Shouts out to Lacey for taking the fight. Shouts out for Nakaya for taking the fight as well, because she's taking the fight on short notice as well.
You know, we give a lot of props to Lacey where we absolutely should, but Nakaya, she didn't have to take the fight, right? She has an unknown opponent. She's been training one way or one style for one person, and then in 24 hours it completely alters.
Well, and there's age difference, obviously a weight difference.
Yeah, we'll be bringing all of that up on the tail of the tape when they make that walk. Jackson Hopes is going to bring him out for that right now.
Let's keep this rolling. Our meeting is sponsored by Uptown Steakhouse and Sure Stay Plus by Best Western. Not only are they housing and feeding the fierce fighters and staff this weekend, but they have free breakfast, renovated rooms, and a sports bar and steakhouse to catch all of the fights. Be sure to stop in after our main event this evening and treat yourself to some delicious grub while watching the main card out of Las Vegas at Uptown Steakhouse and Sure Stay Plus by Best Western. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next two fighters to the cage.
Well, Friday morning, Lacey Vasquez woke up without a fight, and by 7 p.m., she was facing off opposite Nakaya August for a kickboxing match. Eric, this is as late notice as it gets, but she was supposed to be on this card for an MMA fight that fell through. Now a different opponent with a fresh set of rules.
So at least she had some prep, right? Even if her fight fell through a couple of weeks ago, and it's a hard thing, especially at this stage in your career, because you feel like you're getting ready for something, and then your opponent backs out or falls out or whatever, and you got nowhere to go.
Backed by the local crowd is Nakaya August, the flyweight out of local Fierce MMA and Sierra MMA. Jason, she trains alongside some of the top coaches that the state offers. I'm interested to see how she performs here tonight.
Yep, got Cody Bunderson in her corner. She's got Joel Haro in her corner. I see her in the gym daily. I know she's putting in work. She's training. She's been excited to get her first kickboxing match under her belt. I'm really excited to see her perform tonight.
We're going to pull up this tail of the tape right now. Nakaya August, 14 years younger than Lacey Vasquez, who is 33 years of age. Vasquez weighing in at 128.5 pounds. August at 124. Vasquez standing 3 inches taller with a kickboxing record of 1-1. Nakaya August making her debut here tonight.
Fierce fans, sponsored by Uptown Steakhouse and Sure Stay Plus by Best Western. This fight is an amateur catchweight kickboxing bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing of the blue corner, holding a kickboxing record of 1 win and 1 loss. She stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 128.5 pounds. Fighting out of Excite MMA, hailing from Eagle Mountain, Utah, by way of Dallas, Texas. Fierce fans, make some noise for Lacey Fireball Vasquez. And introducing fighting out of the red corner, making her amateur kickboxing debut. She stands 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighed in at 124. Fighting out of Sierra MMA and hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah, by way of Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Nakaya August, a.k.a. Kiwi.
Lacey Vasquez in the blue gloves. Nakaya August stands opposite in the red. This kickboxing bout is brought to you by Uptown Steakhouse and Sure Stay Plus Hotel by Best Western, the best place to stay in Price, Utah, and an official sponsor of Fierce FC. All right, another 3 2-minute round kickboxing bout, the final one here tonight. The remaining 6 fights will all be MMA. Nakaya August versus Lacey Vasquez, a fight made 24 hours ago.
No glove touch, right to work. Nice kick.
Vasquez with a record of 1-1 as a kickboxer. Nakaya making her debut. Some nice head movement and already landed that nice body kick like you mentioned, Eric.
Look at Nakaya's head movement, how fast and crisp it is.
Vasquez's win in kickboxing was November 11th of last year, a TKO in the second round. Her 4th combat competition in 8 months, 3 kickboxing, 1 MMA, as Nakaya lands another nice one and a pop from the Price crowd. Vasquez starting to find the range a little bit more here. Again, 3 inches taller than Nakaya in this catchweight bout.
Vasquez has thrown a lot of her shots really round. Where she's taller, she'd be a little more better served if she threw it straight. I'm not sure a little more better served is good English. I apologize.
Nice body kick by Lacey.
Your English is great, Eric. You're doing a great job.
It's my second language after Neanderthal.
Vasquez landing a nice overhand right there in the combination.
Seems like that length has given August a little bit of trouble early on in this first round.
Well, but she's moving her head good. She just needs to believe in it and slip inside, because like we talked earlier, if she gets past her wrist, she's going to have the advantage.
Final 10 seconds, round number 1.
And let's not forget, she's 19 years old.
That will do it for round number 1. We've got the unofficial scorecard popping up in just a moment. But Eric, your initial thoughts before we see Jason's unofficial scorecard.
That one's tough. I think Nakaya came out good in the first 30, 45 seconds, but I think Lacey maybe started to run away with it a little bit at the end.
Yeah, I thought she landed a little bit more. She landed some nice crisp body kicks. She was able to land some hard shots. Not to take anything away from August. She was, she's right in there. She's getting in there. It's probably just those first round jitters. It's her first fight. She's 19 years old. She's fighting in front of her family and friends. We'll see if she can get some of those jitters out of it in the second round.
And they don't talk about it in the pros. You don't hear the UFC guys talk about nerves and things like that. But especially for your first fight, especially at 19, it is absolutely going to be a factor.
Again, a 14-year age difference. Quite the differential. I believe the biggest one with the late replacement. I had the stat for the biggest age differential. I think this one trumps it. That being said, top of round number 2 of a possible 3. Another 2 minutes to work for these two.
I think I hold the record for the biggest displacement in age.
A little bit more aggression closing in the distance is Nakaya.
She has good movement, great footwork, great head movement.
Yeah, like I said, she just has to believe in it a little bit more. She's going to have to, we call it, in my gym, we call it scat in. So she needs to double step and then throw. She's just outside of range. She's having a hard time getting past those hands.
Trying to close the distance a little bit more. Lacey Vasquez weaponizing that length advantage that she has. Back to the center they go, separated. Vasquez trying to utilize that high kick a little bit more from what I've seen here, Eric.
She's got the range, and she's, if she can throw it, she should.
I can't tell if Lacey has something in her eyes or if she's blinking a lot, and now she's coming forward and landing some big shots, so maybe it's nothing, but she seems to be blinking a lot. I don't know if something hurt her or if something got in her eye.
Nervous nerves. Sometimes you blink if you think you're going to get hit.
I do that a lot on the broadcast with Blake because I get so nervous.
It's because Blake's intimidating.
I'm like the nicest guy ever.
You are the nicest guy ever.
I'm kidding.
But you work really hard.
I appreciate that.
These fighters are working really hard.
Final 30 seconds or so of round number 2. Nice leg kick landed there by Vasquez.
I think the leg kicks are just completely underutilized.
I think Lacey's getting a little bit tired in the second round.
She is. I think she's showing some fatigue.
A little bit of a clinch, able to separate immediately, and that will do it for round number 2. All right, bottom of round number 2. Eric, your thoughts on what just happened in the last 2 minutes?
That's a tough one. I think Lacey used the range a little bit. I think Nakaya's having a problem with it. I think this round, it's going to be who's busy. I would like to see both fighters be a hair more busy, especially Nakaya. I think she's on her back leg a little bit and not engaging enough.
Yeah, I actually gave August. I gave Vasquez the first round. Those scores are flipped. The scores should be flipped. August. I gave August the second round. I didn't like the body language of Vasquez in that second round. She, especially towards the end, that last half of that round. It's such a tough fight to score. These are so tough to score. There's only 2 minutes. It's tough.
Is that something that they consider? The body language, the judges.
I mean, it's the human aspect of it, right? Like, we're seeing that as a judge, as a human. We're seeing somebody, and you're seeing August come forward and marching forward. It's tough. It's just tough. It's tough being a judge.
Third and final round between Lacey Vasquez and Nakaya August.
The biggest shot of the night.
Yeah.
And again.
See, who's going to be more aggressive? Who's going to be busier here?
Up against the broadcast booth are the two, getting a pop here at the Carbon Event Center in Price, Utah. Back after 2 years away in the place where Fierce Fighting Championship was born.
Yeah, August is landing some shots. You can see her confidence starting to build as this fight's going, too.
A little bit of a grin there I'm seeing, Jason.
Yeah. She's like that in the gym, too.
Constantly in the gym, constantly talking with Joel Haro and picking his brain as one of the top strikers in the entire state. Lacey Vasquez throws a clubbing right hand.
Look at Lacey's body language, though, in between. I think Nakaya just needs to press her. I think she can stop her.
1 minute to do so before we head to the judges' scorecards. Clapping leg kick landed by Vasquez. Nice
right hand.
Clean shot landed by Nakaya, one of the cleaner ones that have landed so far.
And again,
throughout this fight, that buckled Lacey, backing up just a little bit. Final couple seconds, 30 seconds to go. Clean shot landed by Lacey over the right.
And then Nakaya comes back.
Yeah, they're going tit for tat now.
Nakaya August, the Price local. Definitely hearing the clamoring from the crowd. All right, that's going to do it. 3 rounds in, 6 minutes out. We will have to see what the judges have to say. We'll get a little bit of an idea with Jason and his unofficial scorecard.
You know, I'm going to give the fight to August. I thought that third round she landed some big damaging shots. She buckled Vasquez in that third round. I thought she eked out the second round. So, yeah, I'm going to give this. I think that was our third round, wasn't it?
That was third and final round.
Our ring girl's just telling us it's over.
Eric, your thoughts on Lacey Vasquez?
Well, you talked about whether the judges take body positioning and some things like that into factor. I think it absolutely happens. You know, you're scored on aggressiveness, and if your body, you know, if your body positioning and your body language is looking timid, even if you're trying to fire back a little bit, I think it plays a factor.
Looks like we got another mismatch here on our unofficial scorecard. Jason, like he said, giving it to August. But that being said, getting some words of encouragement as we head to the judges' decision by Joel Haro and Sierra MMA crew. Got Carson Hardman actually in the corner of Lacey Vasquez, the Fierce FC welterweight champion. Tyler Tomlinson, all smiles as usual, the first of 4 fights here tonight that he will be officiating. Looks like we've got the official decision ready to go. Jackson Hoops is going to get us primed for it right now.
Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for your decision. All 3 judges score this contest 29-28, 30-27, and 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision out of the blue corner, Lacey Vasquez.
Lacey, come on over here. Everybody, let's give Nakaya a round of applause. Both of these ladies taking this fight on 24-hour notice. Amazing fight, what a performance. Lacey, you come in here, you take this fight on 24-hour notice. You get the big win in front of the hometown, Nakaya's hometown. How you feeling tonight?
It feels great. All of my hard work paid off.
It did. It paid off. It paid off. So in that 3rd round, it looks like she hit you pretty good with some pretty good shots. Were you hurt any bit in that 3rd round?
I was not hurt, but she did great for her first fight. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Wonderful performance. Is there anybody you want to give thanks to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my husband for holding down the fort at home and being supportive, and tell my kids that I love them. And thank you to Mark and Carson for being amazing coaches and all my training partners at Excite MMA.
Awesome. Let's give it up for your winner, Miss Lacey Vasquez.
Fierce Challenger Series 6 is brought to you in part by Glow Pop, Mountain Land Supply Company, and Getting Our Smoke On. All right, Lacey Vasquez getting it done. An impressive performance. Another good one for Excite MMA. We've got Manny Cazarus out of Elite Performance facing off against Jake Jarman in this next one as we pull up this matchup. A catchweight to headline our prelims. Jason, a quick prelims, but I think this is one that a lot of people are looking forward to, a couple of hometowners.
Yeah, this should be a good fight. Hometown guys. I actually saw Manny in the lobby at the hotel playing cards earlier today, so he was super calm, cool, and collective.
Cannot wait to see it. We'll get into those stats in just a few moments, but Jackson Hopes has got to bring him out first. We're going to kick it over to him right now.
The preliminary card is sponsored by Castleview Hospital. Serving Carbon and Emory counties and the surrounding areas, they provide inpatient and outpatient services and serve the community in a variety of ways. Hopefully none of our fighters this evening will be required their services, but if they do, they will be treated by one of the top rural and community hospitals, Castleview Hospital. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next 2 fighters to the cage.
First MMA walk of the night kicks off with Manny Cazarus. Jason, 17-5 in jiu-jitsu competition over the last year and a half, but the Elite Performance fighter is confident in wherever the fight may go.
Yeah, you get a guy like that that's had that many jiu-jitsu tournaments, and he's competed. He's been in front of people before. He's a Jeremy Horn guy. He'll be ready tonight. He'll be prepared. I expect to see good things from Manny Cazarus tonight. So
17-5 in jiu-jitsu competition dating back to October of 2021. 82% of his wins, 14 of his 17 coming by submission. A couple of submission specialists in my eyes. And on top of that, trains at one of the top gyms in the entire state. Johan Rubio, Andrew Boquette, Sean O'Connell, Malachi Novosel. I could go on and on. I got about 5 more names, Jason.
Yeah, Mike Jones. I mean, you got a list of guys that you could throw in there. He's training with the who's who. Once again, he's going to be prepared. I expect him to try to get this fight to the ground, and he's going to hunt for a submission tonight.
Eric, your thoughts on this matchup? Manny Cazarus, 29 years of age, Jake Jarman the same. Interested to see how these 2 jiu-jitsu specialists play it out.
Well, sometimes 2 guys that specialize in one area, it cancels each other out. So we may end up seeing some kickboxing or some boxing here.
lifetime MMA fan turned fighter. Enter Jake Jarman. The 29-year-old out of Agema has spent the last year improving every aspect of his game for this moment. Eric, do you remember what that first MMA walk feels like?
Yes, it's awful. So you walk out there, you don't know what to expect, you're super nervous, you're really worried about something completely unknown. So, you know, nerves are a factor, and I've said it a few times tonight, but it's who overcomes it, right? It's who's mentally tough enough to get past it.
Court McGee, the lone Utah UFC fighter in the corner of Jake Jarman here tonight, representing Agema Jiu-Jitsu as we pull up our tale of the tape. Jake Jarman and Manny Cazarus, as mentioned, 29 years of age. Jarman and Cazarus, those are not their weights. Manny Cazarus weighing in at 189 pounds. Jake Jarman weighing in at 187.5 pounds. Jarman standing 1 inch taller. Both fighters making their MMA debuts to headline these prelims. That being said, Jake Jarman, I got his jiu-jitsu credentials as well. 8-0 in grappling competition. 5 gold medals between these two. Been grappling for 1 year, 5 months of MMA. I'm very curious to see how this one plays out.
Well, it's going to be a stand-up war. That's how it's going to play out. That's the way it always happens, right?
That's what I thought it was going to happen. You know, we're going to see somebody throw 1-2, and then off we go.
I want to know who these guys' nutritionist is if they're weighing in at 128. These guys both solid dudes.
I know a guy that's really good at nutrition.
Yeah, I know a guy too.
He's the reason I can see my abs right now.
All right, we're going to kick it over to Jackson Hopes to start this fight.
Fierce fans, this fight is sponsored by Castleview Hospital. This fight is an amateur catchweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyestead. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed in at 189 pounds. Fighting out of Jeremy Horn's Elite Performance MMA, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Manny Cazarus. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, making his amateur debut. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 187.5 pounds. Fighting out of Agema Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Auburn, California. These fans make some noise for Jake Jarman.
Agema's Jake Jarman in the red gloves. Elite Performance's Manny Cazarus in the blue. This 190-pound bout is brought to you by RNA Market. Food in the end is our tradition. RNA Market, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. First MMA bout of the night to headline our prelims. Scheduled for 3 3-minute fights. 3 3-minute rounds.
Two of the top gyms in the state going at it here.
Jarman took the center of the cage very quickly. I don't know if you saw that, Eric.
Yeah, he looks like he's trying to establish where he wants his real estate to be.
Cazarus investing in those leg kicks early. Jarman now beginning to take the back.
Fantastic transition between the kick onto the back. I would say he drilled that a little.
Yeah.
Beautiful entry in, and now attempting to get a little bit more control on the back here of Manny Cazarus within the first 45 seconds of this fight.
I can't say enough about how smooth that was. Cazarus caught the kick, and Jarman went right around his back.
That was slick. This is the difference in a jiu-jitsu match. You got punches now. Looks like Jarman is getting a little too high. You can hear the corner telling him not to get high, and he's a little high.
Dana Risazabal in the corner of Jake Jarman alongside Court McGee. Specializes more in the jiu-jitsu side of things over there down in Provo. And Eric, I see this position. Jarman's trying to get that glove behind the head. Could you kind of break that down a little bit? It's a control position more than anything. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's trying to get the half Nelson. He's trying to, it almost looks like he's trying to turn him over, so he might be trying to flip him over to his back. I think Cazarus needs to try to tripod, get his butt in the air, and shake Jarman, see if he can get Jarman to fall off the front of him.
Agima becoming one of the homes of middleweights. Andrew Mickelson fighting for the title to defend it later on tonight. Tyler Call, another one, as well as Marco Sanchez. Jake Jarman, no shortage of talent to work as he's starting to get a little bit of a crank there. It looks like it's not necessarily on the chin.
Oh, it is now.
It's under.
It's under there now.
Cazarus is going to need to fight that elbow off.
Just like that, a successful debut for Jake Jarman. He gets it done in one.
Cazarus might have been a little bit, had that blood choke applied to him. He was a little loopy there.
I couldn't tell if he had gone out or not, but nonetheless, Jake Jarman fired up.
I don't know that he went out, but it was close enough that I don't know that he knew where he was.
Dave Selyustad, I mean, to peel someone off, you got to be pretty close to it.
Yeah, very much. And Selyustad's a stellar ref.
Impressive performance for Jake Jarman, getting the selfie alongside Court McGee and Dana Rissazabal. All smiles out of the Provo crew. First of 4 to make the walk for Agima here tonight. Jake Jarman kicking it off good for Agima. You got to think for Manny Cazarus, a disappointing way to lose, but nonetheless, looked solid on the feet and then just ended up in a really tough position that really Jake Jarman didn't telegraph whatsoever.
None. I still just think it was amazingly smooth how Cazarus caught the kick that Jarman threw, and Jarman snuck right around his back. It was just fluid.
All right, we're going to make it official right now with Jackson Hopes.
Fierce fans, referee Dave Selyustad has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 15 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by submission, your rear naked choke, out of the red corner, Jake Jarman!
All right, Jake, come on over here, man. You get your first win stepping in the cage tonight. How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling like $1 million. Let's go!
So that walk us through that transition. You threw a nice leg kick that he caught, and you transitioned to the back. Walk me through that, how you took his back.
That's actually something I've hit in sparring multiple times, where I throw a kick and they catch, and then I just take the back from there, then take them down and then go for the RNC, baby.
I love it. Wonderful performance. Wonderful performance. What's next for you?
I want to say one thing. Hey, everybody, I'm the first of 4 Agima Jiu-Jitsu fighters tonight. We're going for the clean sweep. We're going to whoop some ass tonight. Let's go!
Anybody you want to give thanks to tonight?
Thanks to Dane. Thanks to Court. Thanks to Art, my coaches, Agima Jiu-Jitsu, the best training partners. Thanks to my family and my sweet wife, Franny. That's my girl.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, Mr. Jake Jarman.
All right, well, what a performance for Jake Jarman out of Agima, getting it done. We're going to take a quick intermission. We've still got 5 incredible fights on this main card. Kicking it off, we're going to go to Cross Hughes and Dylan Bolt. This is Fierce Challenger Series 6, presented by Glow Pop.
And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 9.5 inches tall, and weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Excite MMA, hailing from Mena, Arkansas. Fierce fans, make some noise for Cross Hughes!
Cross Hughes in the red gloves, Dylan Bolt in the blue to kick off our main card. This featherweight bout is brought to you by Castleview Hospital. Serving Carbon and Emory counties for years, Castleview Hospital, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
Cross has a good following.
He has a great following. I don't see the pictures of his face, though. Last fight they had pictures of his face printed out on little sticks.
And they knocked the barrier down right behind us.
They did. Blake was about ready to call security on him, kick them all out of there.
I thought he was going to go at me, sick him.
Don't blink on this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Both fighters busy early.
Oh, big uppercut.
Oh, down goes Bolt, and Cross going to town.
Bolt is one of those guys that will not give up.
Oh, Bulldog. Oh, my goodness.
That chokes in deep. And
That's it.
Cross Hughes, under a minute, no problem.
Hopefully Dylan here's okay.
Jason, he came out. Oh, Jason is gone, actually. I apologize. Eric, he came out like a racehorse.
You know, I talked to him when he was filling the cage out a little bit, and just exceptionally fast. And I said, are you going to be fast tonight? And you couldn't have been faster. No. He caught a very, very hard uppercut there that put him down, and then Cross just swarming him, absolutely swarming him.
Cross Hughes is going to be a problem for featherweights statewide and possibly beyond. Dylan Bolt saying he messed his day up quite a little bit, but that being said, no doubt about it, Dylan Bolt is formidable as anyone that Cross has fought so far, making it an impressive win. But Dylan Bolt moves to 2-1. Cross Hughes improves to 2-1.
Don't blow your nose.
What were you saying to him, Eric?
Don't blow your nose. Your eye will swell shut.
One of the fastest finishes in Fierce history. We don't have the official time just yet, but very impressive nonetheless, Eric.
You guys do a hell of a job with these challenger cards. I mean, the last one, every fight was a barn burner. We're on the first of the main card here. Outstanding, exciting performance. I mean, you guys have some magic here.
Jake Jarman, Manny Cazarus was a whole lot of fun as well. Looks like we are getting a handshake between the two fighters. Cross Hughes not taking a whole lot of damage in this one. You got to wonder how quickly he wants to return. No problem with the 9-week turnaround for the fighter out of Excite MMA.
He could return tomorrow. He's in shape. He didn't take it. I don't even know if he got hit.
It looks like we are just about to make it official with Tyler Tomlinson. Jackson Hopes is got a hot microphone ready for us right now.
Cheers, fans. Referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 20 seconds of the very first round. Declare the winner by submission due to anaconda choke out of the red corner, Cross Hughes.
Cross Hughes, we're making this a normal occurrence, brother. Welcome back.
It's good to be back. Felt more comfortable this time and didn't go to decision. So or not decision, but late in the fight. So
yeah, that was a quick performance. You hit him with a nice uppercut. Walk me through that finish.
The finish, Brian, my jiu-jitsu coach, probably like a month ago, was teaching me anaconda dart chokes, and just my length. I like that choke a lot, so I went to it, and I literally told my friend I was gonna finish it like that, probably the first round, but and that's kind of how it went. So.
I love it. That was an awesome performance, man. Great submission. Where do we go from here, brother?
Just keep fighting. Just want to stay active and fight as much as possible.
Anybody want to give thanks to?
Yeah, everybody who came out and watched me. My friends over there, about the tightest friend group anybody's ever had. And anybody watching at home, just thank everyone for that. And my family back home, too. So just thanks for everything.
Everybody give it up for Cross Hughes.
From the upper suites to the arena seats, all the way down to cage side. Put your hands together and make some noise!
That kid is impressive. This is one of the best cards that we put together to cement their legacy in Utah MMA.
At home with the best in the West, it's Ken Buffaleo! Hailing from Hilo, Hawaii, it's Ricky Mamone!
Well, how does 5 title fights in the Maverick Center sound to you? Fierce Fighting Championship heads back to Salt Lake City August 26th, featuring Jerome Hatch, Mike Jones, Kent Mafaleo, and many more. For tickets, head over to fiercefightingchampionship.com. All right, welcome back into the Glow Pop broadcast booth. Coming up next, we got Brendan Myers and Tony Garcia. Jason, you said this is the fight you're most looking forward to.
This is the fight that I'm looking forward to the most. These guys had a war. They both went back and forth in their last fight. Unfortunately, it ended in an inadvertent knee. Myers ended up getting the victory in that, and I know he didn't want to win the fight that way. I know Garcia, threw an unintentional knee. We said it as soon as the fight ended. We got to run this fight back, and we are running it back right now. This is going to be fireworks.
Well, how about we run it back? Jackson Hopes is going to get us ready for it right now.
Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Auto Farm, Price, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. They have devoted themselves to helping and serving their customers to the best of their ability. They believe in the vehicles they offer are of the best quality and ideal for your everyday needs. To be treated with enthusiasm, appreciation, and respect when purchasing your next vehicle, stop into Auto Farm, Price, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next 2 fighters to the cage.
Well, let me tell you, Fierce fans are in for a treat when Tony Garcia makes that walk, let alone in a highly anticipated rematch. Constant pressure, constant action, and Eric, we saw in his last fight, he is a whole lot more than just a decorated wrestler.
He's a little firecracker. Just watching him warm up, speed, really, really good movement by shadow boxing. Very, very confident. When I talk to him, he is extremely confident.
One thing I always put on my board for Tony Garcia, a battery in his back. This kid's got one of the best gas tanks I've ever seen. And Jason, we're going to see on the tail of the tape in a few moments, Tony Garcia, a 1-2 record. I just got to say, that's the best 1-2 fighter I've ever seen.
By far. This guy is fun. He's improved in every fight that we've seen him fight. He has gotten better and better every fight. And the same can be said for Brendan Myers. He's another kid that's getting better and better each time he steps in the cage. That's why this fight is so awesome tonight.
Antonio Garcia, a 3-time state champ and All-American wrestler, but that's not all. There is a whole lot more, folks. 3-0 in Muay Thai fights as well. He specializes in striking, trains alongside Amanda Hebos, coming out of one of the top gyms in Extreme Couture. Got Vance Elrod in his corner. Tony Garcia making the walk here tonight in a very highly anticipated rematch against Brendan Myers. Jason, let's go back to that back in March. Brendan Myers, Tony Garcia, super even fight. Brendan Myers winning the first round, Tony Garcia winning the second round, I would say.
That's the way I had it when they were fighting. I thought Brendan pretty much dominated that first round, but then you seen Tony turn the tides in that second round, and it looked like he was going to get the finish.
Well, it doesn't feel like a Challenger Series if the Brazil flag isn't hoisted above that man, Brendan Myers. 4th fight in under 9 months for the flyweight out of Agema, and less than 4 months since he and Tony last faced off. Jason, people have been asking for this rematch for a while. The new look Brendan Myers, I mean, he looks incredible out there.
I like it. He's got the bleach blonde hair going. He's got the Brazilian flag. This is going to be a great fight. Like I said, I can't say enough about both of these guys. These are 2 of the top flyweights in the country right now. They're both on the up and up. What a great matchup.
Striking seems to have improved with each match. The Chase Barrett submission that he got in between his fight with Tony was one that was very slick, but set up by the striking. It's something that he's been working on and something that we might see showcased here against Tony Garcia.
Yeah, he's making strides. Every fight we've seen him, he's been making strides, getting better and better. His confidence, I think he learned a lot from that. Even though he came away with the victory in that fight, I think he learned a lot from that second round from Tony putting that pressure on him. He's worked on his gas tank a little bit. This is about an even as a fight that we could have tonight.
All right, we got our tail of the tape right now. Brendan Myers, 24 years of age, 4 years senior to Tony Garcia. Both fighters weighing in under that 126-pound weight limit. Myers standing 1 inch taller at 5'6" with a 2-1 record. Tony Garcia with a 1-2 record. Brendan Myers also, Eric, most Fierce Challenger Series appearances of all time. Been at Fierce Challenger Series 3, 4, 5, and here tonight in 6.
You can't disqualify experience. You just can't. And, you know, he's active. He's obviously busy in the gym, and he looks very ready. I really appreciate those shorts. I think they're awesome.
I'm digging the bleach blonde hair, man.
Myers never short for the antics. A whole lot of fun against Chase Barrett. A new look here tonight against Tony Garcia. Jackson Hopes is going to make it official to start up this fight right now.
Fierce fans, there's nothing like a rematch, and this rematch is sponsored by Auto Farm of Price. This fight is an amateur flyweight bout scheduled for 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyusted. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 win and 2 losses. He stands 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighed in at 124 pounds. Fighting out of Extreme Couture MMA, hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada. First fans, make some noise for Antonio Gachazon Garcia. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Akima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Clovis, California. Fierce fans, make some noise for Brendan the Menace Myers.
A rematch between Agima's Brendan Myers in the red gloves, Extreme Couture's Tony Garcia counters in the blue. This flyweight bout is brought to you by Auto Farm. For the best price, quality, value, and experience, choose Auto Farm, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Little side note here as well, Brendan Myers and Tony Garcia, since their fight, have actually become pretty close friends, consistently talking on social media. All put away for the next 9 minutes or so.
Caitlin Neal in the corner of Brendan Myers. I just noticed that, and he just landed a big overhand.
Connected clean on the chin there by Myers. Tony Garcia with a clapping kick to the body.
Really nice setup with that kick with the right knee first. Good cross. Good cross by Myers.
Oh, down goes Tony
hurting.
on the back foot, and Myers capitalizes now on the back of Garcia.
Tony's going to want to start fighting those hands, which he's doing right now. He does not want Brandon to clamp down on that.
This is almost a replay of the first fight.
We've seen Myers take the back of each opponent in every single fight that he has made. No surprise here, under a minute, he is backpacked on Tony Garcia. Looks like it might be deep under the chin now.
Tony's in a bad position. Tony needs to try to spin towards him, and if the longer he waits, the harder it's going to be for him to get the position.
Garcia right up against his corner, Octavian Trumbo, Vance Elrod, coming up from Extreme Couture. Octavian Trumbo winning our main event a couple of months ago when Brendan Myers won his last fight.
Scary. Scary good.
Brandon's got that body lock, so it's going to be really hard for him to get off. If Tony went to his back and then rolls towards that foot that's wrapped around him, he might be able to break it. It's hard to want to go to your back here, though.
A little bit of blood dripping from the nose of Myers as Tony starts to try to get Brendan high. Again, like you said, Eric, though, stuck on his back like glue with that body lock on.
I think if Tony pins that arm that he's working there, he might be able to pull him back. No.
And Jason, like you said, more of the same from what we saw in the first fight. Brendan won the first round. Tony won the second. We will have to see what subsequently happens. 50 seconds to go, round 1.
Very impressive with Brendan. Very impressed with Brendan striking in this fight. He landed a clean shot. He's already got Tony Garcia bleeding from the nose. And yes, this is very identical to their first fight, and looks like he's getting it under the chin, maybe?
Yeah.
30 seconds to work as he is getting a little bit closer, clamping the hands behind the head.
He gave up the body lock, but, I mean, he's still locked in on him.
Myers told me that he never felt better than when he fought Tony Garcia in those first 3 minutes of their fight back in March out in Clearfield.
So if I'm the corner of Brandon, I'm going to tell him to let this go and just hit him.
Final seconds, round 1, which has been all Myers. Top of the second coming up in just a few moments. Whole lot of blood coming from the nose of Tony Garcia. Not the way he wanted to kick off this fight, Eric.
No, Tony's looking a little disappointed, obviously, in that first round. Myers just dominated him.
This is, like I said, this is almost an exact replay of the first fight. I don't think Tony's going to get out of his head any. Brendan actually breathing a little hard in the corner again. And this is, I hate to say it, and I keep sounding like a broken record here, but I hope this isn't like the first fight where we see Brendan kind of gas a little bit in the second round.
We see Caitlin Neal as well as Arthur Kleinfelder in the corner of Myers. No stool. Seated, though, is Myers. I wish we could get a better angle of it here on the broadcast,
hard.
But he is breathing heavily.
He is breathing hard. Look at him there. Tony looks really composed considering the round he just had, but Brendan is breathing hard.
We'll see what changes Brendan has made in the gym now, because this, like I said, this is just an exact replay of that first fight. He looks a little better now. Maybe he was just catching his breath there, deep, taking those deep breaths in the corner.
No broken eye contact between these two as we kick off the top of round number 2.
The show's called Fierce, and they're fierce.
Garcia with a little bit of a pop early here. Couple of nice connections there as they get into the clinch. Myers punches out a little bit. Back to the center they go.
Tony might be hurt. He ate a couple big shots.
Tony needs to get his feet.
Nice combinations. Sorry to interrupt you there, Eric. Brendan just threw a nice combination.
Tony now chasing the back. Didn't land a takedown in the first fight, but we are seeing a little bit more output by Garcia here.
I know he's probably concerned about the knee, but the posture of Brendan would be primed for some body knees here.
Yeah, Brendan.
Soften that body up a little bit. It changes the fight. But
Garcia
Brendan's
punishing.
covering. There he goes. He's
Clean on the chin is Myers as they get back
into.
into the clinch.
I'd like to see Tony turn off on an angle a little bit and hit the angle.
Nice jab.
Bloodied and battered is Myers as he goes down. Tony smelling the blood. Myers setting up the triangle.
He needs to get his head out of there.
He might have that.
I can't see where the other arm is.
He's got his right arm underneath his leg. He's grabbing his foot, tightening up.
Yeah, but he needs.
If he can get parallel.
He needs Tony's arm across his neck.
As slick as you get, Brendan Myers, the dust is settled, and he gets it done. Eric, it seemed like he had Brendan Myers dead to rights.
Brendan was in a bad way taking those shots and then just had the perseverance to stick through and lock it up. Tony's a great fighter. It just, sometimes those guys have your number.
An unfortunate way for it to close out for Tony Garcia. Been competitive in all 4 fights, and that's maybe the most devastating part about this.
I think that he just needs to go back and regroup. You look at Brendan. It wasn't an easy win for him. Tony didn't just give it to him.
Tony dropped him in the second round. He's bloodied and battered as he gets the applause from the Agema crowd. We have never seen Brendan Myers take that much damage, but he's going to move to 3-1 and skyrocket into those Fierce Fighting Championship flyweight rankings. What a spectacle that is. Looks like we are just about ready to make it official. All love between the two flyweights in the rematch. Brendan Myers settles it here. Disappointing way for it to go for Tony. As I say, Eric, thrill on one side, agony on the other. We're going to make it official right now.
Fierce fans, give it up one more time. These two fighters, holy cow, give it up for these two. Make some noise, let's go! Referee Dave Selya said it's called a stop to this contest at 1 minute. 34 seconds of the second round, declaring the winner by submission due to triangle choke out of the red corner, Brendan the Menace Myers.
Awesome fight. Come on over here, Brendan. Brendan, that was an amazing performance. That was almost an exact replay from your guys' first fight. You dominate the first round. You come out. You ate some big shots. Walk us through what happened. How'd you get that finish?
Hey, I'm just a dog, man. I'm here to fight, scrap all day long. And, yeah, I was kind of rocked. He got me. I'm not going to lie. Tony's a great guy. I love fighting him. But I tried to come out and prove I'm the better fighter tonight.
So you mentioned you were pretty hurt, obviously pretty rocked there for a minute. What did you see there in that submission to get that submission locked in there?
I just saw him get kind of lazy, kept an arm out through the triangle, and I knew I could finish that. I tried to squeeze hard enough.
I love it, man. I love it, man. Where do you go from here? What's next?
Recover, fight again, beat up more people, bro. Hell yeah.
Is there anybody you want to give thanks to tonight?
My corners, Caitlin Neal, Arthur Kleinfelder, my coaches, Dana Sazabo, Court McGee, and all the fans, man. Love them all.
I love it, Brendan. Awesome performance, man. Way to get the submission tonight. Congratulations again. Everybody give it up for Brendan Myers. One second. Wait, one.
One more thing, just for everyone to know. I think I had a lot better cardio this fight, thanks to my coach, thanks to my nutritionist, Stephen Bridges, and just want to let everyone know it's National Blueberry Day. Superfood that will keep you up with the cardio all day long, baby.
All right, now let's give it up for Mr. Brendan Myers.
I was obsessed with martial arts as a child.
I actually was there in the same camp was to be training to fight Connor.
I did not want to go in there. I would sit out in my car, my stomach's churning.
I just wanted to do good for MMA in Utah.
And so I didn't know how hurt I was.
I've already been in there under the lights so many times. I've seen so many punches come at me, so many kicks.
That wasn't a Hail Mary. Like, that was calculated.
Like, I want to take this to the top of the top.
I'm going to do it till I die. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if I lose, win. I'm going to be a fighter. I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to be a mentor. I'm going to be everything.
Fierce Challenger Series 6 is brought to you in part by Auto Farm Price, Castle View Hospital, and RNA Market.
Brendan Myers getting it done. Jason, I cannot believe what we just saw. Oh, we got Brendan Myers here right now.
I love you, Blake O'Rulian.
Love you too, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, you're tougher than woodpecker lips.
I still cannot believe what we just saw. That was an all-out war, exceeded expectations from what was already highly anticipated.
Yeah, that was an amazing fight. What a performance. Way to bounce back from the adversity. You could see his face. He was hurt. He was rocked. He saw an opportunity. He slapped on that triangle choke and got the submission. Man, what a fight. What a performance. I love watching this kid fight. I love watching both of those kids fight.
All right, we are going to head into our next match. We're going to pull it up really quick. Mason Sorensen, Michael Eastwood. Excite MMA versus Fierce MMA once again. I am very interested to see. Zach Partridge, our COO and matchmaker, says that this is going to be the fight of the night. I cannot wait for it. Eric, what are you looking forward to?
Hopefully it was as good as the last one. I'm sure it's going to be. Zach's put on some fabulous matchups, and these contender series are just amazing fights to watch.
Whole lot of fun, and it is imminent. We're going to kick it off to Jackson Hoops right now.
All right, Fierce fans, our next fight of the evening is sponsored by Getting Our Smoke On. We got some people in the line right now getting the grub. Hopefully it tasted great. Make sure you get your food. They are a barbecue staple in the Price of community. Their food truck is here at the fights this evening, serving up some incredible smoked barbecue right off a stick burner smoker. From meats to desserts that will knock your socks off, be sure to fill up with Getting Our Smoke On. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next two fighters to the cage.
Well, following suit with the long-awaited comeback is hometown kid Mason Sorensen. Nearly 3 years since the last walk. Eric, only one fight in 5 years for Sorensen. Does the lack of cage time help or hurt him here tonight?
I can't help but think it's going to hurt him. A lot of it depends on how much he's been in the gym and the quality of sparring partners and some things like that, whether he can replicate the cage inside a safe space, which is the gym.
Mason Sorensen, 23 years of age, but made his debut at Fierce FC 7. Jason, he started fighting right at 18 years old and has been training pretty much his entire life.
Yeah, he's been training his entire life. He'll be ready. Now, he's got Cody Bunderson in his corner. He's down here. He's from Price. He's also got Joe Haro in his corner, so he's got quite the corner.
Mason Sorensen with the Price backdrop, a little stat here, 1-0 in Price, Utah, as he embraces both Joel Haro and Cody Bunderson. But this is his toughest test yet. Eastwood with the highest win percentage of any of his previous opponents. 3-1 versus 2-1. It's been 5 years since Mason Sorensen's last win, coming August of 2018, a win over Tyler Ferguson. Mason Sorensen, 23 years of age, standing 5'8", weighing in yesterday at 126 pounds. Looks like he is ready to enter the cage. Taking a little bit of time, but there we go. It's not Erin Scheidt clipping her fingernails right before the fight, Jason.
No, it wasn't.
Idaho was a wild ride.
Price has been quite the wild ride so far, too.
It has not disappointed.
All right, back after nearly 4 years away is Michael Eastwood. Jason, it's been some time, but when he was rolling 3 years ago, 3 straight wins, a championship belt to show for it. I'm very interested to see how he looks after a long time away.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen him fight, but when he was fighting, he was just rolling through guys up in Salt Lake City. This is a great matchup. Both these guys are coming off of layoffs, very evenly matched. This is going to be another great fight.
All right, we got the tail of the tape up right now. Michael Eastwood, 3 years senior. Sorensen weighing in 2 pounds heavier, making it at that 126-pound limit. Sorensen, 1 inch taller with a record of 2-1. Eastwood with a record of 3-1. And Eric, 3 years away for Sorensen, 4 years away for Eastwood. It's really going to be a battle of who can shake off the cobwebs.
Yeah, who can find their flow, who's smoother, and who has better control. That's what we'll be coming down to, who's going to win.
Michael Eastwood with that record of 3-1, an impressive one, that being the combined record of previous opponents, 9-2. Jason, at the amateur level, at that early of a career, that's impressive.
That's very impressive.
No easy fights along the way for either of these fighters. They battle it out now for one of the top spots in the entire state of Utah in the flyweight division.
Flyweight bout scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds, and when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 2 wins and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet, 8 inches tall, and weighed in at 126 pounds. Fighting out of Fierce MMA, hailing from Price, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Mason Sorensen! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 3 wins and 1 loss. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighed in at 124 pounds. Fighting out of Excite MMA, hailing from Lehigh, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for Michael McFishers Eastwood.
Michael Eastwood back after 4 years away in the red gloves. Price local Mason Sorensen back after 3 years away in the blue. This flyweight bout is brought to you by Getting Our Smoke On, smoked barbecue right off the stick. Getting Our Smoke On, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
The Excite MMA guys brought the crowd up. Yeah, quite the crowd up here tonight.
Quite the pop for both of these. One of the most highly anticipated fights on the entire card. Eastwood in early. Immediately to the ground they go. Eastwood on top. Sorensen trying to get a high guard on the bottom.
Eastwood came out like a tornado.
Scrappy.
No feeling out process in this one. Foot on the gas for both of these two early. Both of Sorensen's wins coming by submission. Both coming in the second round. Sorensen already transitioning over to that head and arm.
Can't see.
I don't think he's quite got it.
I think he needs to get his head lower on the elbow.
Looks like it might be tight. I see Mason.
It's getting there.
The color on Sorensen.
It looks like the blueberry from.
He needs to drop that hip.
It is National Blueberry Day.
Now he's tightening it up a little bit.
Sorensen able to weather the storm. Eastwood raining down blows from the top.
You know, great job. I think he needs to scramble to get out of there. He can't stay there.
Some up kicks attempted by Sorensen on the bottom as well, as Eastwood is relentless on top. The fighter out of Excite MMA.
Full mount.
Yeah, Eastwood is just a storm in there tonight, just overwhelming.
Yeah, the house
Sorensen.
is on fire.
In a high mount is Eastwood. Sorensen trying to get back up.
Hand on the cage there.
Yeah, Eastwood grabbing the cage a little bit.
Eastwood wrapping up the rear naked choke from the back, flattening him out. That's it! Michael Eastwood gets it done in one. Back after 4 years away. Not one sign of it, though, Jason. He looked incredible.
He looked incredible. He came out super fast. He threw a nice jab, got the takedown, and was hunting for that submission the whole time. Great performance by Michael Eastwood.
Relentless pressure right out of the gate, never stopped until he won.
Non-stop for Eastwood. The 26-year-old looks to have quite the bright future. Plan A from bell to finish. Michael Eastwood gets it done, and it looks like we're going to make it official in just a moment. Jackson Hoops entering the cage. Tyler Tomlinson already ready to make it official. We're going to kick it over to Jackson Hoops right now.
Fierce fans, referee Tyler Tomlinson has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute 51 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by submission due to rear naked choke out of the red corner, Michael McVicious Eastwood.
Mr. Eastwood, that was impressive. You came out here like a storm, man. Was that the plan tonight, to just come in here and overwhelm him?
It was mostly nerves, but worked out, so.
Yeah, whatever it was, that was impressive, man. So you came out here, you threw a nice shot, got the takedown. Was the plan to come in here and get that submission?
Yes, very much so. Ground game's my specialty, so that's what I was looking for.
Yeah, beautiful submission. You come back after a long layoff. What's next for you?
Title fight, baby. Let's get that strap going. Let's go.
I love it. I know a guy that can probably make that happen for you, too. Is there anybody you want to give thanks to tonight?
My coaches, my team, my family that are watching, everyone that came out to see me. Thank you, guys.
Give it up for Michael Eastwood.
Fierce Challenger Series 6 is brought to you in part by Glow Pop, Mountain Land Supply Company, and Getting Our Smoke On.
All right, Michael Eastwood, soft with words, but nonetheless relentless in that finish. It's super impressive, Eric.
I really liked what he said there. the nerves got him through. You know, he was able to harness that nervous energy and just attack until he got it done. And, you know, I was wrong. The 4 years didn't affect him at all.
Can't wait to see what he does next. I think a title fight has to be the next step for him.
Yeah, that was a beautiful performance. Great pressure.
All right, next up, we've got Andrew Mickelson facing off against Chris Chu. I think this is the one that so many are looking forward to, be it pay-per-view buyers as well as people here in Price, Utah. Andrew Mickelson has been an incredible fighter over the course of the last couple of years, but this is a rematch from 2021, Jason.
Yeah, this is a rematch. Chu wanted this rematch literally 5 minutes after Mickelson won the belt. Chu was texting Zach saying, I want that belt. I want the rematch. He's been thinking about this fight ever since.
Well, he's the first to make the walk. Jackson Hooks is going to bring him out right now.
All right, Pierce fans, we got 2 more fights to go. How about a title fight for the next one? After the title fight and after the main event, be sure to go to Uptown Steakhouse this evening. Watch those Las Vegas fights. Here we go, Pierce fans. Our co-main event is sponsored by Mountain Land Supply Company. They take pride in providing the best products to their customers, providing timely deliveries, and always putting their customers' needs first. They look forward to the future as they constantly implement new systems and technologies to continue to grow and serve at Mountain Land Supply Company. Pierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next 2 fighters to the cage.
All right, looks like no walkout music for Chris Chu, but nonetheless, we play on here. Well, fresh off of 1 belt and bidding to build to the collection is Chris Chu. There it is, first time in the Fierce cage, but no stranger to his opposition here tonight in Andrew Mickelson. Eric, these two have fought before, and Chu believes he has what it takes to turn the tides from their last fight in 2021. What is the key to rematches?
Preparation. You already have an idea what the guy's good at. The difference is what have they been working at on the in-between? What have they improved on? What has Mickelson done differently? What has Chu done differently? Chu has an idea of what Mickelson did in the last fight, but Mickelson could be different now.
He absolutely could, because we've seen him get better every single time. But Chris Chu has also been on an undefeated streak since facing Andrew Mickelson. Since their last fight, combined for 2 amateur belts, combined for an 8-1 record with a 67% finish rate. These two are the best middleweights in the entire state, Jason.
Best middleweights in the state. Chris Chu training at literally the top gym right now. They got the heavyweight champ. They got Julian Ruiz in their gym. They got 2 of the top fighters, and Chris Chu could come away with the belt tonight if he can beat Andrew Mickelson.
Chris Chu winning an amateur belt with a win over Justin McDonald, who was 6-0 when they fought. He contests for another belt here in our co-main event. Looking to extend the streak to 5 in 13 months, enter the Fierce FC amateur middleweight champion, Andrew Mickelson. A couple of stats here for you. The #1 pound-for-pound amateur for Fierce Fighting Championship. #1 on the entire West Coast. Jason, a special talent who we have seen get better with every matchup. He defends his belt here tonight. Do you think this is his last time as an amateur?
You know, it very well could be. I honestly, if he gets the win here, I'd like to maybe see him take a step up in competition, that maybe fight a more experienced amateur, somebody that's been through the ranks, somebody that's been around for a while. If not, he's shown that he's ready for the pro ranks as well.
We've seen him grow and build. 4-fight win streak, 3 of them. Oh, actually, we're going to pull up the tail of the tape really quick. Andrew Mickelson, 1 year senior, both fighters weighing in at 184 pounds. Chris Chu, 1 inch taller. Mickelson with a record of 6-1. Chu with a record of 4-1. But nonetheless, Andrew Mickelson has gone from devastating knockout puncher to a guy who can really mix it all up. He wrestled to beat DeRay Robinson. He did a whole lot of everything against Roger Ashley to win the belt.
Yeah, his last fight, he showed everything in his arsenal. Great takedown defense. He fought a jiu-jitsu guy. Didn't get taken down. Great takedown defense. Great striking. Great movement. He's fast. He's athletic. I mean, just look at the guy. He's carved out of stone, man. This guy's rock solid.
He looks like Captain America.
Been a good night so far for Agima fighters, 2-0. Andrew Mickelson out of Agima, the third one now. Jackson Hoops is going to bring him out right now.
Fierce fans, this is your co-main event. This fight is sponsored by Mountain Land Supply Company. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Dave Selyusted. This fight is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds for the Fierce Fighting Championship Amateur Middleweight title. Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 4 wins and 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighed in at 184 pounds. Fighting out of the Pit SLC and Maury Training Center, hailing from Salt Lake City, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for the challenger, Chris Chu. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding an amateur record of 6 wins and 1 loss. He stands 6 feet tall, weighed in at 184 pounds. He is fighting out of Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA, hailing from Orem, Utah. Fierce fans, make some noise for the reigning, defending, undisputed middleweight champion, Andrew Mickelsen.
Lock them already. Just going to go over those big ones again. Stay off the top, back of the head, neck, and spine, and keep your fingers out of the cage. Amateur bouts, the only thing that strikes the head is either a punch or a kick. Got it? Touch them up. Let's have a good fight.
Fierce FC middleweight champion Andrew Mickelson in the red gloves. Opposite the incumbent is Chris Chu, countering in the blue. This amateur middleweight bout is brought to you by Mountain Land Supply Company, providing the best products and meeting customers' needs first. Mountain Land Supply Company, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Got to get that ad read in. This one could be fireworks from Jump Street.
Chu's body language, very sleepy looking. A little bit surprising considering the magnitude of the bout.
Chu coming off of a fresh victory off of winning a belt, another promotion. Mickelson winning the Fierce belt.
Both fighters in the first rematches of their career met back in 2021. Mickelson getting the TKO in the first round. In on the takedown early up against the broadcast booth. Chu applies the pressure. Mickelson begins to start the framing.
Mickelson's digging for an underhook with that left a little bit. Exactly what he should be doing. I think he might be able to pivot out the back if he pops that right arm up.
A couple nice knees up the middle by Mickelson as they trade and pepper in shots in the clinch.
So far, Chu making it ugly.
Mickelson almost punched out, but Chu able to get back in on that single leg.
He's going to get that. Nope, Mickelson fought it off. Nice work.
Mickelson able to escape, but still dealing with the pressure of Chu.
Chu's mixing it up really well. Threw some strikes there to get to distract Mickelson, then went straight back to the leg.
Yeah, great game plan by Chu, not letting Mickelson use his athleticism, keeping him up against the cage, dirty boxing.
Keeps him from using footwork and mobility.
Chris Chu, clearly the grappler. 2 wins by submission, 2 wins by decision with his 4-1 record. Mickelson able to get the reversal on the
Good
Chris Chu
scramble.
takedown.
There's that athleticism.
Now Eric, Chu applying the pressure, but Mickelson with the deep underhook there. Could you kind of break this down for us a little bit?
So typically the fighter with his back against the cage can rest here a little bit more. The guy trying to take him down is usually expending more energy. I think that's why Mickelson's not really prying or moving. He's letting Chu wear himself out.
And he's laying on his head too, just laying all of his weight on top of Chu.
Quick 2.5 minutes of round number 1. Final 30 here. This bout scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds. I apologize. A couple foot stomps traded.
Gonna make me earn my money tonight with the scorecard.
Dave Selliestead separates the two. Final 10 seconds. Chu backs up Mickelson.
Swinging for the fences, but he looks like he's breathing a little bit already.
And he ate 2 big shots to end the round too, Mickelson.
End of round 1, and Jason, we've called every single one of Andrew Mickelson's recent fights on this win streak. We haven't really seen him back against the wall. This is really the first time.
This is the first time that I've seen him in any kind of danger. I wouldn't say he was in any danger, but I actually scored this fight, this first round 10-9 for Chu. I like the pressure. I like the game plan. Dirty boxing, kept Mickelson away from using his athleticism. This is a great fight.
Already beyond the 2 minutes and 24 seconds that it took Andrew Mickelson to get the win against Chris Chu back in May of 2021. Eric, in your eyes, what does Mickelson need to do to start getting his game going, and what does Chu need to do to continue to do what he's been doing?
Chu did a fantastic job of closing the range and, like you said, keeping Mickelson's athleticism out of it. I think Mickelson needs to find some range and set a few things up. I can tell you from my opinion, I think Mickelson assumes this is going to go into the later rounds. He looked absolutely unconcerned defending the takedowns there.
We will have to see who the fresher fighter is headed into round 2. But still a pop is Chris Chu.
Nice head kick by Mickelson. That landed.
Some chance of Chu in the crowd here. Mickelson starting to get things going.
Finding that range, just like we talked about.
Locating a landing spot is Mickelson, but Chu transitions straight into the back take. Into the grappling exchange as we go.
Mickelson needs to turn towards him.
You know, this was the game plan. You know, I was talking to Julian Ruiz earlier before this fight, and they told Chu when he starts getting lit up on the feet, you need to go for the takedown, make it ugly, pressure him, and he's doing exactly that. So he's listening to his coaches.
Mickelson's defending well here.
All his weight on that right leg, Eric. I don't know if you're seeing that.
I do. He's not getting taken down necessarily, but the fight's not going to progress this way. One of them's going to have to change position.
184 plus pounds on that leg. Mickelson wearing it well. Mickelson able to get out of it. Chu making it ugly.
Mickelson needs to be careful backing up with his hands down that way.
Mickelson's bleeding, or I'm sorry, Chu's bleeding. Oh, nice shot by Chu.
Mickelson gets dropped. Chu goes in for the takedown.
A little too excited by Chu. Chu looks like he's breathing hard though.
Jason, we haven't seen Andrew Mickelson get dropped, I think, ever.
That's the first time I've seen him dropped.
That was a really, really clean punch. Straight down the pipe.
Straight down the pipe. And like I mentioned, Chu just came off of a title fight, which was a 5-round fight. So he's no slouch in going the distance.
And having that experience.
And he's got the experience. Mickelson has been in quick fights.
Seeing a little bit more fatigue from Chris Chu, rolling the head a little bit as Andrew Mickelson frames.
If Mickelson can hook his elbow under Chu's chin, he can spin him. He's doing a good job of making sure he's not controlling that hand, which is important.
Chu trying to trade a knee in that exchange. Mickelson weathers the storm. Final 30 seconds as Dave Selliestead is going to break it up.
What a title fight.
You know, if I'm Mickelson, I'm giving it everything here. I'm not going to stop hitting him for 30 seconds to try to steal this round.
Mickelson going back to the well as he locates that jab precisely.
Nice jab.
Chu starting to wear it now.
Ooh, good right hand. Mickelson's finding his range.
Ooh, what a way to close out the round. Andrew Mickelson starts to turn the tides in the final 30 seconds.
Wow, what a second round. They were going all at it. Chu looked like he had the round in the bag, and then Mickelson comes back. I gave that round 10-9 to Mickelson. I thought he came back. I thought he started strong, and I thought he finished strong.
Eric, you got to wonder if he had 30 more seconds, what would we be seeing right now?
It wouldn't have taken 30. Chu looked like he was falling back. Chu's eyes really busted up here. His corner's going to have to put that back together because that thing might swell shut. If I'm Mickelson, I'm going to come out and hit that eye about 8 times.
This is what you want in a title fight.
Absolutely.
Just even, both guys throwing down, going at it, evenly matched.
It shows quality of matchmaking.
It really does. You can see Zach's head over there just getting bigger and bigger while we're saying that.
It's hard to get bigger than Zach's head.
All right, top of round number 3 in what has been much more competitive than the first, this rematch in our Fierce FC amateur middleweight title bout. Mickelson, calm, cool, and collected, but nonetheless, you got to think he's smelling blood early considering the end of round number 2.
I think if I'm Mickelson, I'm throwing 3, 4, 5 jabs and then that right hand. If he throws that left hook into that eye, it's going to be a problem for Chu.
Chu telegraphing a little bit more on those takedowns as we head into the halfway point of the fight, but nonetheless, still the control time is there for the fighter out of the pit SLC.
You could see the strength in Chu, being hurt the way he is, and to still be able to keep Andrew, who we've saw just pretty much toss everybody off of him in every fight he's ever been in.
Chu's definitely tough and very controlling. So from a judge's standpoint, Chu may be winning. He has more ride time. He's controlling the cage. I think a lot of judges really accentuate that in their scoring more so than damage a lot of times, which I necessarily don't agree with, but I'm a striker, so.
No, absolutely. A nice read there, Eric. Jason, you were talking about Andrew Mickelson, his previous title bout, 4 knockdowns in 5 minutes. This is definitely the toughest test he's had since he fought Sebastian Mordecai in May of 2022.
Yeah, this is a tough fight. He's having to fight through a little bit of adversity right now.
Chu beginning to get under the hips a little bit.
And you start to see Mickelson breathing a little hard now.
Mickelson needs to get an underhooker. He's going to get dumped. If Chu jerks that leg hard and turns to his right, Mickelson will go down.
Mickelson on a wobbly leg here, now taken down by Chu.
Nostradamus.
And this is a position we have not seen the champ in.
Mickelson needs to do what he's doing there, post his right arm down. He needs to turn his body, though. As long as his hips are square with Chu, he's not going to get up. There it is right there. He needs to turn those hips. I would continue to hit Chu. The more you hit, the more Chu's going to want to move and get out of that position.
Jason, Andrew Mickelson, his one loss to Sebastian Mordecai was to a wrestler, and it is very eerily similar how Chris Chu is taking this fight in comparison to how Sebastian Mordecai took that fight.
What a dog fight.
Oh. Mickelson now in his world.
Ouch.
Down is Chu on one knee. Mickelson smelling the blood.
Chu needs to get his hands up and circle. He's hurt bad.
Chu is tough as
he
nails.
Final 10 seconds, round 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Still on his feet is Chu, but on wobbly legs. Mickelson looking to
Chu wrap him up and see if he can get to the next round.
I don't know how that fight wasn't stopped. Oh, my.
We go to a round 4, but Chu barely able to make it back to his corner. Mickelson wearing much less damage than Chris Chu, who is bloodied and battered, headed into round 4.
I'll be surprised if they don't stop this fight. He was hurt bad.
Chu is tougher than Woodpecker Lips.
Oh, my.
Can you believe that he made it through the end of that?
Wow. I mean, I'd be real surprised if he makes it out of the corner right now.
I'm going to be real surprised
if they let him, if the doctor lets him.
He needs to be breathing, and
he's standing up, though. Look at him. Barely standing up.
He's sitting.
I mean,
I'm not sure that's a good technical choice there, but,
Chris Chu on a shaky foundation. We've got the unofficial scorecard up. Jason, more of the same. The final seconds when Andrew Mickelson gets those small windows. I said this during the Sebastian Mordecai fight. When he gets those small windows, he is as devastating as anyone in the entire country.
He is devastating. Devastating striking, and I'm going to give him that round because he finishes it strong and he almost finishes the fight. And to me, that's more impressive than that control time up against the cage. He landed, he damaged, and he should have finished the fight. I feel like the fight should have been stopped.
And I agree with you. The damage that he's inflicting on Chu, just completely inflicting on Chu would trump the ride time to me. But if I'm Mickelson, I'm going to really get after it here because he can't withstand another barrage like that.
This is the furthest Andrew Mickelson has ever gone. Dave Selliestead going to separate. Looks like there was quite
a little headbutt there.
A slight headbutt. Yeah, that's what I saw as well.
Chu needs to take this opportunity to take some deep breaths. Look at his face.
Both guys, warriors.
Mickelson pushing the pace.
I mean, Chu is still throwing. He was almost out on his feet, and he's throwing shots. And he's got Mickelson hurt a little bit.
A stiff jab landed by Mickelson. That has been his bread and butter. Eric, I apologize. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think Mickelson is more tired than he looks.
100%.
I think he's hiding it well, but I think he's also fatigued.
It has been an all-out war through 10 minutes.
I am pushing myself back on my toes because I want to jump up and down.
This is a great fight.
Mickelson needs to hook his left arm under Chu's chin and pull, or that right arm. If he hooks that right arm under, he can pull. Chu doesn't have a lot of gas in the tank. He'd be able to peel him off.
Jason, an interesting note here as well. As we've talked about the stylistic matchup, the similarities of Sebastian Mordecai, they only had 3 rounds. Andrew Mickelson still has 6 minutes to work. Well, now 7.5, but nonetheless, or 4.5, I apologize. I'm doing my math in my head. Andrew Mickelson has a little bit more time to work.
He does have a little more time to work, and just like the last 2 rounds, we see Chu getting that cage pressure. If Mickelson can break away, we've seen him land in that stiff jab that he's been landing all night long.
So there's some strategy here. If Mickelson takes this round off and just lets Chu continue to wear himself out.
Transitions into the ground and pound. Mickelson.
Just keep hitting him.
This could be a bad spot for Chu right now.
Pull that leg out, turn, and fire. This thing's done. I don't know how Chu's still.
And he's throwing shots back. This is
Chu's mouthpiece is out.
Too.
Mickelson smelling the blood once again.
I love how patient Mickelson is being right now.
I'm cringing because Chu doesn't have his mouthpiece in. He's just getting smashed.
And he's throwing shots back. Look how patient Mickelson is. Eyes on him. Head movement.
You're not going to find a tougher guy. There he goes.
It was kind of a bad time to put the mouthpiece in when they're trading shots like that.
Well, I mean, there was a break there. You can't let him take those shots without it.
What a warrior Chu is.
30 seconds to go. Chu still standing upright.
Nice right hand.
Oh.
Right hand.
Both fighters exhausted. Chris Chu with a granite chin.
I'm not going to lie. If I'm Mickelson, I'm going to get on my bike. I'm going to ride out the last of
That's
this.
it.
That's it.
The hand is heavy, and it is ready. Andrew Mickelson defends his belt.
And Chu is not happy again. He wishes Selliestead would have let it go, but he really was taking some brutal shots.
What a dogfight. I mean, mark this as one of the best fights in Fierce Championship history. That was an amazing performance by both fighters. Wow.
We have blood splattered
it's all on my head.
all over us.
It's on me. It's on my head. Wow.
Andrew Mickelson lays down in the glow pop cage, exhausted through so many strikes. Chris Chu brought the fight to Andrew Mickelson nonetheless, Eric.
Fantastic. I cannot ever be more impressed than these cards that we have at this fight level.
Andrew Mickelson retains his belt. You've got to wonder what the future holds for him in terms of staying as an amateur, defending once again, or if he will move up to pro. Nonetheless, he's the best middleweight in the West Coast.
So let's talk about that. Who's next? Who else is in the arena with him?
Well, what I have heard from Zach Partridge is he said that it is getting much, much more difficult, and obviously so, for Andrew Mickelson to get fights. Chris Chu voluntarily wanted this fight. He wanted this chance back, and we see why, because he brought the absolute dogfight, the toughest test Andrew Mickelson has ever had in there.
I'm thoroughly impressed with Chu. I hate to see a fighter take a beating like that, though, especially at the end. But that's the game.
We're going to make it official right now with Jackson Hoops.
Fish fans, referee Dave Selya said it's called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes and 43 seconds of the 4th round, declaring the winner by TKO and still undisputed middleweight champion, Andrew Mickelson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for both of these warriors tonight. Andrew Mickelson, that was an amazing performance. Chris Chu came out. He was tough as nails, throwing shots. He had you hurt. He actually dropped you. Talk me through the fight, man.
Chris Chu is one tough SOB. I said it last time we fought. You know, most guys, they're not lasting after eating some of those shots, and he just kept coming forward. He's a warrior. Hats off to Chris.
How hurt were you when you dropped you in that? I believe it was in the 2nd round. How hurt were you?
I wasn't hurt. I don't really remember. I'll have to go back and watch the fight, but I think I slipped off of a low calf kick attempt more than getting dropped by his shot.
One thing we've noticed from you in each fight, you kept getting better and better. Your jab looked phenomenal tonight. You kept just popping that jab out and hitting them. Was that something you've been working on through fight camp?
The jab's the first punch I learned how to throw. Got to go back to the basics, especially when getting too fancy against a tough guy like Chris isn't going to work. Just hit him with what works. The jab was working.
So you win the belt, you defend the belt. Where do you go from here?
Got to sit down with my team, my coaches, and decide what's next. Maybe 1 or 2 more AMI fights, or maybe we try the pros. We'll have to see on that. Got to talk to the coaches, see what they think.
Anybody want to give thanks to tonight?
First and foremost, my wife. She's sitting at home. She's due to have our 2nd baby next week. I'm grateful for her letting me come out here and do this so close to our due date. Next, I want to thank my coaches and my teammates at Agima Jiu-Jitsu and Martial Arts. And then I want to thank all my sponsors. We have Built Bar in the house. Drove all the way down here from Utah County to support me. All my other sponsors, Bucked Up, Pat McAfee Show. Woodley Real Estate has been in my corner for every single fight, including this one down in Carbon County. Got to give a huge shout out to them. And there's many others I'd like to thank, but I'll cut it off there.
I love it, man. Once again, wonderful performance. Congratulations again. Everybody give it up for your winner and still fierce fighting middleweight champion, Andrew Mickelson.
From the upper suites to the arena seats, all the way down to cage side. Put your hands together and make some noise!
That kid is impressive. This is one of the best cards that we put together to cement their legacy in Utah MMA.
At home with the best in the West, it's Ken Buffaleo! Hailing from Hilo, Hawaii, it's Ricky Mamone!
Well, how does 5 title fights in the Maverick Center sound to you? Fierce Fighting Championship heads back to Salt Lake City August 26th, featuring Jerome Hatch, Mike Jones, Kent Mafaleo, and many more. For tickets, head over to fiercefightingchampionship.com.
Well, that was a whole lot of fun Jason, we were saying we thought we were going to get out of here a little bit quicker. We didn't know whether it was going to be Chris Chu or Andrew Mickelson getting their hand raised, but they go into an all-out war, go deep into the fourth round.
What a fight. What a test for both guys. What a war. Andrew Mickelson proving once again why he's one of the top fighters in the state.
All right, we have got Marco Sanchez, Freddie Sandoval coming up next. The main event, Freddie Sandoval coming up from Albuquerque, New Mexico, his man Greg Allen. Unable to get it done earlier, but nonetheless had a great showing. Marco Sanchez, a part of Agima as well as Rise Boxing. Agima 3-0 here tonight. Two fighters looking to get their hand raised for the first time in a long time. We're going to kick it over to Jackson Hoops.
All right, Fierce fans, this is your main event, and it is sponsored by Glow Pop all the way in the back. Go visit Glow Pop by the booth or scan your QR code on your table for a chance to win $500. No purchase necessary. Glow Pop has the best in functional mushrooms and erotic gummies to guarantee a good time. Stop by their booth or visit their website at glowpop.com. Fierce fans, make some noise and welcome the next two fighters and the final two fighters to the cage.
I've been having dreams about falling in love. It feels so real, but nobody is here when I wake up. Do you know my name? The devil's in the detail.
First main event in 14 years for Freddie Sandoval. Making the walk by way of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the 38-year-old seeks to hop back in the win column following a 14-year drought. But Eric, he did take a 12-and-a-half-year break from 2009 to 2022, fought 3 times since then. After that long of a break, it's almost like you're a brand new fighter in there.
Yeah, you're going to fight the nerves again like it's new. You're going to have a lot of unanswered questions. But again, you know, he's from a good gym. Gym pedigree makes a big difference.
Jason, Freddie Sandoval's career started December of 2005. Marco Sanchez's amateur career started 11 years later in 2016. This guy is as OG as they come, and he's only 38 years old.
Yeah, he's an OG, and I don't think there's going to be any nerves with him stepping back in here after a layup. I saw him at the hotel lobby. He was actually in the pool, hanging out in the pool swimming.
Good for him.
Freddie Sandoval getting his blue belt as of July of 2022. Never gone to a decision. The average fight time in wins, 63 seconds for this firecracker of a fighter out of Sandoval Fighting Systems. Entering now is that man, Freddie Sandoval.
He looks very calm and composed. He doesn't look like he has any nerves, that's for sure.
All right, final fighter to hear his music is Marco Sanchez. Back after over a year away and some canceled bouts in that time. Jason, Marco is someone who may not have the prettiest record, but is one of the most respected fighters and coaches in the entire state.
He's one of the most respected fighters. Like you said, he doesn't have the sexiest record, but he's one of those guys that has every tool. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He can stand. He can box. He's good everywhere. Just looking for him to take that next step to just get on a win streak, and let's see where he can take his career.
All right, let's pull up that tail of the tape right now. Freddie Sandoval, 8 years senior, both fighters making weight at 185 pounds. Marco Sanchez, the tallest opponent of Freddie Sandoval's career at 6'2". He will have a 6-inch height advantage over Sandoval. Sanchez with a record of 1-3. Sandoval with a record of 5-9-1. Freddie Sandoval been to a second round one time in 17 years over the course of 11 fights. This one could be over with very quick, whether it's Marco or Freddie.
Yeah, it could be over very quick. Freddie looks calm, cool, and collected in the corner. He's a stocky 5'8". I mean, he's built.
On the other side of that coin, Marco Sanchez never gone to a decision as an AMI or a pro. An exciting fight here in our main event to close out our show up here in Price, Utah.
Sandoval looks like he's turning it up. He's definitely getting ready. He's wearing some ankle sleeves. Looks like he'll be kicking.
This is your main event. This fight is sponsored by Glowpop. This fight is a professional middleweight bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. And when the fight begins, the referee in charge will be Tyler Tomlinson. Now, one more time, I need everybody tuning into the pay-per-view and everybody here at the Carbon County Event Center, from the seats in the back to the table seats, all the way down the K-side. Put your hands together and make some noise! Introducing the first fighter, fighting out of the blue corner, holding a professional record of 5 wins and 9 losses and 1 draw. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighed in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Sandoval Fight Systems, hailing from Albuquerque, New Mexico, representing the 505. Fierce fans, make some noise for Freddie Sandoval! And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, holding a professional record of 1 win and 3 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Rise Boxing, Classic Fight Team, and Agima Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. Hailing from West Valley City, Utah, by way of Buena Park, California. These fans, make some noise for Marco Sniper Sanchez!
Unified Pro MMA rules, okay? Listen and obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times, or I will stop the fight. You guys have questions. Touch gloves if you want. Back up.
Local fighter Marco Sanchez in the red gloves, well-traveled New Mexico native Freddie Sandoval in the blue. This professional middleweight bout is brought to you by Glowpop. For peak performance or relaxing after a match, head over to glowpop.com. Glowpop, an official sponsor of Fierce FC.
Nice leg kick right out of the gate.
Marco Sanchez's first fight in 14 months, getting into his groove early.
Great defense from Marco Sanchez.
So if I'm Marco, I'm going to just keep hitting that leg.
Able to evade the blitz of Freddie Sandoval.
Nice return kick. They're calling for a Cerrone. They've got some kind of predetermined combination they're looking for him to throw with that.
Still investing in those leg kicks early, Eric.
So with Sandoval's wide stance, it's going to be really hard for him to check those. Sandoval's coming back with his own kick, though. I think that I'd like to see Marco set up his kick a little more with some hands.
Just as you say that, he starts landing a few shots.
Big right hand from Sandoval.
Sandoval with the takedown. Sanchez on the bottom, a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Again, Freddie Sandoval receiving his blue belt last year. Some slapping leg kicks echoing through the Carbon County Event Center, Jason.
Marco looked like he's trying to sweep or look for an arm bar there.
Adjusting the hips, trying to get away from the heavy pressure of Sandoval.
Marco's going to have to pivot and get his hips out from under him. If he's square, he's not going to be able to get up or do much. There's no submission here either. He needs to pivot and turn his hips. There he goes.
Creating a little bit of separation, making his way at a snail's pace to the cage, adhering to his corner's advice.
If I'm Sandoval, I'm going to bury Marco's head right into that cage so he can't do this. Marco can push off that cage here. He can't grab the cage, but he can use the cage as leverage to push.
Sanchez starting to utilize that black belt in jiu-jitsu. Able to create some motion and movement off of Sandoval. The triangle is beginning to get set up.
He needs to push that arm across, pull his leg down.
Sandoval.
Let's go for an armbar.
For the armbar.
Sanchez eats
and if
a
I'm
shot
Sandoval,
there.
I'm smashing him here.
That was a big couple big shots, too, by Sandoval from the top. Made Marco let go of that armbar.
Framing on the face and creating
nice
some
posture
elbow
up,
strikes.
elbow there. Good pressure to set up that elbow. If I'm Marco, I'm going to try to actually get my back towards the cage. I'm going to post up with one of my hands. I'm going to use that cage to try to stand up.
Sanchez in a little bit of an uncomfortable position. A couple grimaces there as he's right up against the broadcast booth.
I can't see how Sandoval's arm's in there.
He's got his forearm right on the neck.
He's just getting some air choke, trying to wear him out.
Sanchez trying to get back up.
Marco needs to worry about that knee on the up.
Looked like he had his arm in there to block it. No real damage there.
Back up to the feet they go.
Good awareness by Sandoval to throw it. If I'm Sandoval here, I'm going to continue to knee. Or
big elbows now by Marco.
Big elbows.
Big elbows.
He's
Sandoval on his back.
Sandoval's got to move. He can't stay under him. There he goes. Controlling his posture, controlling the distance, try to keep from getting hit. Sandoval can lay here and breathe a little bit and try to get his composure.
Sandoval been TKO'd 4 times in his career, most recently in March of 2022. Marco Sanchez's lone win is a round 1 TKO as he applies the pressure just under a minute to go round 1.
Sandoval looked fresh getting up there. He, considering he took a really bad shot and looked like it dropped him.
Yeah, he was definitely hurt there for a second.
But he regained his composure really fast.
Devastating elbows from the top.
Those elbows are just hurting him.
Marco's got to watch those up kicks.
If I'm Sandoval, I'm going to stand up. I do not want to be under those elbows more.
Nope. Watch the knee. I was going to say, don't do that knee right there.
Sandoval starting to fold a bit.
That was desperation.
Yeah, he's hurt pretty bad here, I think.
Final 10
might
seconds.
Make it though.
Can Sandoval survive and head to a second round? Looks like we are going to move in to a round break. We're going to bring up that judge's scorecard. But Jason, pretty dominant for Marco Sanchez outside of when he was on the bottom.
Yeah, not a lot of real damage. It looks like Freddie's pretty hurt. He might be done.
But even on the bottom, Marco didn't take any damage. I mean,
no,
he didn't get hit. There was no threat there.
He's done.
Nope,
he's done. He's saying he's done.
Quit on his
he's saying he's done. This might be over with.
That will do it. Marco Sanchez gets the win, his first since July of 2021.
And you could see the tears of joy for Marco Sanchez. He wanted this win bad.
So if I'm a couple of these fighters' corners, one, we had Dylan and now Freddie. From my own personal experience, they need to go get a CT scan. With as bad as those elbows were, you don't want to walk around with a fractured skull or fractured orbital for years like I did.
Took a lot of damage and not paid by the hour. Marco Sanchez gets it done in the first round. He had a very emotional reaction when Tyler Tomlinson called off the fight, but looked like Freddie Sandoval wasn't able to stand, Eric. That's what I read on the lips.
No, and I agree. Sandoval had zero intention of going back out there, but nor should he. If he's hurt, then stop, right? I mean, it's good to be tough, and I'm dumb, so I'm tough. But sometimes you shouldn't continue to take the damage.
All right, we got Jackson Hoops entering the cage. He's going to make it official for the final time here tonight.
Fierce fans, after the first round, this fight has been called stopped due to a retirement on the stool out of the blue corner. Your winner is declared out of the red corner, Marco Sniper Sanchez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Marco, it's about time I get to interview you, man.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
How you feeling, man? You come in here, you get a big victory against a vet that's a guy that's been around, had a little bit of adversity in that first round. Did you think he was going to quit on the stool?
Yep. I thought I was going to quit. I have more dog in me. I got that dog in me, baby. It didn't turn out exactly how I wanted on that takedown. For some reason, that weight cut hit me pretty bad, but I knew I wasn't going to quit.
You showed some beautiful jiu-jitsu tonight. It looked like you had some submission attempts, but it looked like those elbows were the thing that finished him.
That's classic fight team, baby. We drop elbows on motherfuckers.
I love it, man. I love it. So you get a big victory tonight. What's next for you, brother?
I want a fucking beer.
We could probably make that happen after this.
I just want to say thank you to my team. Dane, I love you. Court, I love you. MG, my whole team. Classic fight team, Rise Boxing. Agima, you guys are my family. Tyler, I love you. You've been my coach since I was 18 years old. You have no idea how much I love you, dude. Thank you.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your winner, Mr. Marco Sanchez.
Congratulations, bro. Fuck yeah.
All right, we are back cage side. We are going to get over to the Glow Pop broadcast booth in just a moment. We see a whole lot of Marco Sanchez's teammates with him. Kent Mafaleo, MG Valinga, Julian Ruiz, Dana Risazabal, Court McGee, and we're going to kick it over to the Glow Pop broadcast booth. We got our Built Bars here too, Jason, to get a little post-fight snack with us as well. These things are absolutely delicious. They came here to support Andrew Mickelson. They're here to support our show as well.
I am such a fan of Built Bars. I spend like $50. This is my breakfast almost every day, so I feel like they're paying me back by giving me one.
Jason, we've been on road trips before. You're the king of protein. How good are these things?
These are awesome, man. These are great source of protein. They're great, quick meal if you're at the office and you need something quick. They taste delicious. They don't taste like a normal protein bar.
And they're clean. They don't have a bunch of sugar and crap in them. Thanks to Jason Laporte's nutrition and Built Bars, I think you can see my abs right now.
Yeah, you got about 17 grams of protein, 14 grams of carbs. It's a perfect snack.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this Fierce Challenger Series 6 card. The main card delivered as much as was promised. A ton of finishes, a ton of interesting matchups, some very emotional wins, that being Marco Sanchez. Jason, that was a big one for him. It meant a lot.
That was a huge win for Marco Sanchez. I mean, we've seen him in there. We've seen him take some tough losses. I talked about it on the broadcast. He's one of those guys that he's very well-rounded. He's good everywhere. I'm happy to see him get a big win tonight, and I can't wait to see him back in the cage.
And he said that he had a bigger dog in the fight, but he didn't even need the dog.
No, he really did.
He just completely dominated. The elbows were very vicious, well-timed, and a perfect professional performance, really.
And he fought through a little bit of adversity in there, too. Sandoval was on top. Freddie was on top. He landed a couple clean elbows, but Marco stayed calm and cool, and he did the right things, got up on top, and landed some nice elbows.
Never looked like he was in danger.
No.
Andrew Mickelson getting the win over Chris Chu in what was an all-out war. I mean, that was one of the most entertaining fights. And I think one of the things that was so entertaining about it was we didn't see the most dominant fighter on the West Coast get an easy win. He didn't coast to that win, Jason. We really saw him face some adversity and say, oh, wow, he can get past that roadblock. Sometimes we don't see those fighters get to that next level.
Yeah, what a bright future Andrew Mickelson has, man. This kid is something special.
So we talked about it. What's next for Mickelson? Who's next in the amateur division for him?
There's really not a whole lot of names. I know Chris Chu was voluntarily wanting that fight, but it's going to take a whole lot of long nights for Zach Partridge to find someone who's willing to fight him.
Well, so if Mickelson's cleared out the division, he needs to move up.
I'd either like to see him, one, turn pro, or maybe travel outside of the state of Utah, fight a tough amateur from out of state, or have Zach fly somebody in.
Yeah, he doesn't need to travel. You guys do a fantastic job of matchmaking. You bring guys in from out of state. I mean, look how many guys you guys have brought in to travel. You've made this a fantastic card. If you can have Mickelson fight on his home turf and fight a tough guy out of state, why wouldn't you?
Go ahead. I was going to say, fight a veteran. Fight a guy that's been around for a while, but maybe that's still in that amateur ranks.
You're not going to find a guy tougher than Chris Chu.
I was going to say, you can make a great point there. I mean,
this is Chris Chu's blood all over the table. He is tough.
He is tough as nails.
7-1, 5 wins in a row for Andrew Mickelson. I actually spoke to him when he was stepping out of the sauna as he was cutting weight yesterday, and I did say to him, hey, what is the plan? And he said, we are going to talk to the coaches, but it is seeming like he's leaning towards, I won the belt, I defended the belt. it's time to move up. And so that seems like it's got to be the next move.
If that's me, that's what I'm doing. He's cleared out the division locally. He's fought a couple of guys from out of state, right? So why not?
Yeah, and I mean, he fought a guy in Chu who was the champ in another organization. So he's fighting a guy that's a champ. So
he's harder than Chris Chu's harder than a coffin nail.
Wow.
So I mean, you proved it. You know what it is. Step up.
Yeah.
Step up. That's my opinion, Mr. Mickelson. You can tell me I'm wrong, but.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the rest of this card. I'm going to just give my quick fight of the night or fighter of the night outside of those at the top of the bill. Brendan Myers, he looked incredible in a fight that was back and forth against Tony Garcia.
Also tougher than a coffin nail because he was – and here's
Speaking
the man right here.
He's talking about him.
Come get in here. We're just talking about – here, sit down, buddy. Right here. I got a spot for you.
Here, take my seat. Take my seat. Put these on.
So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that because it looked like Tony was starting to. I mean, you're wearing some wear on your face, right?
Yes, sir.
And you bit down on your mouthpiece. You showed great composure, and you went to work. You got the submission, and I'm very impressed, and I love your shorts.
Thank you so much, man.
I like that the shorts match the hair.
I had it all planned out. I'm trying to, mimic my favorite fighter, Charles Oliveira, and just. His grit of never giving up, that's how it kind of inspired me for this fight. And when I dropped him with that 2 in the first round and just rode it out.
And I thought there was a really good chance you were going to be able to stop him in that first after you dropped him. I was really surprised.
I didn't want to exert all my energy like the first fight and wear myself out for – I knew he was going to come in second round with a heavy just heavy combos and just really push the pace because I know he's a tough fighter. And all respect to Tony, I love the guy, but – I just had to prove that I'm the better fighter, and I got the dog inside me to just keep pushing, and I had to make a statement to finish him with that same triangle I had in the first fight.
I got to talk to Tony a little bit before as he was moving around in here. He was super confident. He felt absolutely like he was going to dominate the fight.
Yeah.
And like you said, the dog in you was meaner.
Yeah. Yep.
I was impressed. We were just talking about it before you walked over here. I mean, fight of the night for me, you've been impressive. Each fight that we've seen you getting better and better. I look forward to the future and what the future holds for you, man. You're a stud, Brendan.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming by, buddy.
Hey.
I'm happy to be able to talk to you. What's next for you? What do you want now? You got somebody you want to fight?
I talked to Zach for a little bit.
It's your call-out shot right now.
I'm 3-1 right now. Not anyone I'd love to call out. Accept anyone and everyone. I'm just down to fight and just get more experience in the cage, but I think I want to make a title run, try to get the belt.
Well, you're a stud, and I can't wait to see you again. I'm
Thank you so
super
much.
impressed. I like to think that when I was fighting, I fought like that. I tried to fight through and be tough. So
Thank you.
I love a tough fighter, and you're as tough as they get. You're as hard as a coffin nail.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations.
I like that kid. He's impressive.
And a nice guy.
Nice kid.
How do you
Nice kid.
How do you not like a great fighter that's just a nice guy, not a jerk like me?
So I didn't hear what you guys were talking about, but Michael Eastwood, I apologize, another flyweight that really impressed us tonight, could be the fight, could not be the fight, but I think Zach Partridge definitely has those rumblings in his mind as he goes forward with these fights coming up this year.
I would like to see that fight. And Eastwood came out. I really, really was impressed with what he said. He used the nerves as energy and just absolutely overwhelmed Mason.
All right, so we actually serendipitously had Brendan Myers. I don't know if the rest of the fighters are going to come by and say what's up, but that being said, Jason,
they really should come say hi.
Some of the fighters that really flew off the page for you.
Yeah, obviously we just talked to Brendan Myers. Jake Jarman was another guy. He looked impressive. He looked in phenomenal shape. Great submission, quick submission victory. I was really impressed with him. On the kickboxing side, Aiden Marin out of Sierra MMA. He looked really good. Fought a guy with a little bit of MMA experience. He came out with the decision win. Another guy that stood out, obviously Michael Eastwood we talked about. What a great card top to bottom tonight.
Eric, your thoughts, some of the big fighters for you.
How come you guys didn't say Cross Hughes?
I don't know how I skipped over Cross Hughes' name.
For one, he is 100% mullet power.
Can we start calling him Right Cross Hughes?
We should.
That's a nice nickname.
I want somebody to go tell Dylan Bolt to go get his ICT scanned. I had a fracture around my orbital bone for about 5 years, and that uppercut he took and the way that eye was swelling, it's bad.
Yeah.
All right, open to the whole card really quickly to close this off. Fight of the night.
Fight of the night, I'm going to give it to Andrew Mickelson and Chris Chu. That's going to be right up there with one of the top Fierce Fighting Championship performances in history.
It was super, super exciting. I loved the finish Brendan did, but as far as just overall fight of the night, definitely Mickelson and Chu.
No argument whatsoever from me either. Fierce Challenger Series 6 is in the books. Fierce Fighting Championship 27, August 26th. Jason, one of the best cards of the year. In my opinion, the best card of the year.
Yeah, that's about as stacked a card as you're going to get. We got Kent Mafaleo stepping back in there. We got Jerome Hatch, Mike Jones.
Kent on a tear. Kent on a tear.
Scary.
Stud.
Scary.
Stud.
Human being.
I want to be your best friend.
July 31st. Get your tickets. FierceFightingChampionship.com, 10 o'clock. This is Fierce Challenger Series 6, presented by Glow Pop. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next month.